Good evening, everybody, and welcome inside Welland Stadium for Game 5 of the IBL semi-final between the visiting Toronto Maple Leafs and your Welland Jackfish. Alec Murray alongside Spencer Tanguay. And Spence, we're back. Do or die tonight for Welland.
You couldn't have said it any better. A game that people thought this might be the series that goes the distance between these two teams. You remember last year it was the Toronto Maple Leafs that got the best of the Welland Jackfish. It goes back 364 days ago. The Jackfish remember that game well, and we'll talk about the starting pitchers and how that relates as well. It was the Maple Leafs, a 9-5 victory back on September 8th of 2022 to head to the finals against the London Majors, where the Majors went on to win. But now you fast forward to this year. A lot of the similarities are still here. 5 players for the Jackfish are in tonight's lineup that played in that game. For the Toronto Maple Leafs, 5 players as well that played in that game are also playing in today's game. So this is a game that could go either way. The Jackfish looking for revenge and some redemption.
Including a guy who started, Jake Harford, who is indeed on the bump once again in a win-or-go-home for the Welland Jackfish.
Yeah, Jake Harford comes in after throwing a perfect, really a great start for the Welland Jackfish in Game 1. That was basically a week ago right here. He gets the nod in Game 5. He's been here since the beginning. He's a guy that the Welland Jackfish will rely on the mound. A huge outing for number 55.
On the other side of things, it'll be Dan Procarpio, a guy who maybe threw his best start of his life in Game 2 against these Welland Jackfish. Back in Toronto. Didn't come up with the win, but again, pitched very effectively through, what was it, Spence, 7 innings?
Sure did. Went 7 1/3 and really was probably one of the best players for the Toronto Maple Leafs in that game. Deserved a better fate. The bullpen just absolutely let him down, allowing 8 runs as Procopio only gave up 2 and just a handful of hits in Game 2. Again, this is a series that everyone had circled that could go the distance. The Jackfish come in as the favorites, but it's been the Maple Leafs, that pesky offense, that's been bothering them, and the Jackfish have been unable to figure out Alvarado.
Well, and it's exactly it. Alvarado, the 2 wins this series, both have his name all over it. Last night through a 140-pitch complete game against these Welland Jackfish and a 9-3 win by the Maple Leafs over Welland down at the pit, Spence, and it's been a tale of 2 different stories for the Maple Leafs. This offense has been at times hard to contain, but on the other side of things, the Jackfish have taken advantage of a beat-up bullpen at the Toronto side.
Yeah, you're right about that. And this guy right here probably had his best game of the season. The Jackfish, I don't know how many 6-3 putouts there were yesterday, but Vinicio definitely was in for the Toronto Maple Leafs yesterday, one of their best.
Swing and a miss. Harford gets the best of him as the first batter we see tonight is retired. And Harford off to a good start for Welland.
Yeah, it's always good if you could strike out Jose Vinicio. Only his 8th strikeout of the postseason. He leads the Toronto Maple Leafs in hits with 14 coming into this game. 4 better than the second best Maple Leaf. He has been the best for the Toronto Maple Leafs offensively.
First pitch from Harford is up and away. 1-0. Harford looking to replicate what he did about a week ago as Mara fouls that one off. 0-2 or 1-1. Check that.
Harford was known as Mr. Thursday for a long time here for the Welland Jackfish, dating back to last season when he
even
pitched
say the beginning of this season too.
Nearly every single Thursday night. So this is a really routine, traditional start for him to get him feel comfortable here in a big Game 5.
Harford finds the outside part of the plate. 1-2 the count. And exactly, it turned to a guy who's been with the organization for a little bit here, and a lot of new arms coming in this season. But, you know, you go to Hartford for Game 1, and then you come back for Hartford in a win-or-go-home situation.
Well, he's got a lot of confidence on the hill. He's a very smooth-throwing, relaxed thrower for the Welland Jackfish. Has a lot of confidence when he gets going, and this is why Brian Esri can turn to him in a big game. He's got that veteran leadership as well. He's played in big games. He knows how to get here, and he's certainly a guy the team has faith in.
As Mara slashes that one foul down the third base side. 2-2 the count to the 2-hole hitter and the catcher, Justin Mara, who's had a pretty good series, as well as Mara. Gets under that one and pops it up to short. Smibert's calling. He's got it quickly, 2 away for Hartford.
Good couple of outs for Hartford here as you
Batting
get
third, first baseman,
two guys that
number
know
5,
how to get on
Jordan
base, and they got on
Castaldo.
base a lot in this series of Benicio and Morrow. And now you face Jordan Castaldo, who comes in batting .346 in the postseason, has 9 hits, a double, 4 RBIs, but where you keep an eye on number 5 for the Toronto Maple Leafs, he's walked the best 12 times in the postseason. No one even close to that number.
I can't hear you! 1, 2, 3!
First pitch is in there for strike 1 to Jordan Castaldo, the first baseman. Lineups haven't really changed a lot throughout this series. But again, you mentioned it's been Alvarado who has been the MVP for the Maple Leafs in this series. You have him on the mound. Jackfish have trouble putting the ball in play, and then all of a sudden they go to bullpens and starts to maybe go a little bit downhill just like in game 2. But again, they said last night, you know what, we're not taking any chances. How many pitches he got in there? And he had 140.
Yeah, I can't believe they left him in the entire ball game, but I think that's a lot of confidence on his part and his just raw emotion to get back out on the hill. The game wasn't really in doubt in the 7th, 8th, 9th inning when they led by, I believe, as high as 5 or 6 at one point, the final score. They ended up winning by 6 runs.
That one lined into center field. Coming on, Morello's got it, 1, 2, 3. Hartford retires the side in order.
All right, fans, in case
To the bottom of the
you haven't
first
heard,
we go.
how does
Toronto
a
0.
free medium
Jackfish
French fry
coming up.
sound if Welland Jackfish pitchers strike out 5 or more opposing?
When the unexpected happens, who can you call to guide you from crisis to calm? The trusted experts at Service Master Restore are ready when you need us. We'll be there for you every step of the way. Service Master Restore. We restore your home and your peace of mind. When the unexpected happens, who can you call to guide you from crisis to calm? The trusted experts at Service Master Restore are ready when you need us. We'll be there for you every step of the way. Service Master Restore. We restore your home and your peace of mind.
/2024 or fan services at the front gate to purchase your ticket to fun. 2024 season memberships are on sale now.
And welcome back inside the ballpark. Alec Murray alongside Spencer Tanguay. Game 5, winner go home tonight. Spence, let's round it up for our lineup against the starting pitcher for the Toronto Maple Leafs, Dan Procopio.
Yeah, did a little bit of a different move here for Brian Essery, changing the lineup really. And they only move a couple of guys around, but in a Game 5 situation, you have to throw everything at the kitchen sink here and figure out what you're going to be able to do to get a win. The only switches really, Gio Morello moves up to the number two spot from the bottom of the order. Ethan Hunt now bats 9th in the order. So the top of the order, Hogan Brown in left, Gio Morello in center, and Steven Moretto will bat 3rd, and we'll keep our eye on Steven Moretto. Definitely the player to watch. He has been the red-hot bat of the series. He's homered in 3 consecutive games.
So Hogan Brown, and something the Jackfish haven't done all series long. Game 1 through 4, Spence, Toronto has taken the lead in every single one of those games. You'd like to see Welland get on the board first here in this one.
Very valid point. The Welland Jackfish, you're right, have not scored first in this series. It's been 4 straight times that the Toronto Maple Leafs have jumped out in front to an early lead.
Healthy hack at that one as it's fouled back. 1-2 the count. on Hogan Brown.
Another interesting stat, actually, just going through the numbers, and on my way home back from Christie Pitts yesterday, I noticed it. One team in this series had scored 3 runs. No matter what the score was, we've scored 3 runs total. Whether it be the Maple Leafs have 3 in a game, the Toronto or the Welland Jackfish have 3 that night. Last night, it was a 9-3 win. 4-3 in Game 1, 10-3 and 15-3 the other scores.
So if you eclipse the number 3, you like your odds in this one as Procopio deals. That one on the ground through the hole on the right side, and it's a leadoff base hit for Hogan Brown, and a good start for Welland.
Great leadoff at bat for Hogan Brown. He's having himself not only a good season, but a great playoffs as well for the Welland Jackfish. Batting .303. It's his 11th hit of the postseason. And it's a good one, a single to get things going here to bring up Gio Morello.
This is an interesting move for me. Gio Morello, who led off 3/4 of the season, was dropped because he did struggle a little bit this season, but he's been red hot in the playoffs. So it'll be interesting to see what Gio does back to where he's used to hitting, whereas that's the top 3 of the order.
Well, it's funny you bring that up. Gio Morello, the leadoff man, back in Toronto as he shows bunt. Earlier this year, when the pitcher for the Toronto Maple Leafs, Dan Procopio, suffered his first loss of the 2023 season against these Jackfish, and Gio Morello, the leadoff man, ripped a triple in the second pitch of the ball game at Christie Pitts. A triple here scores a run, and the Jackfish would take a 1-0 lead.
It's kind of crazy if we look down at the bullpen. Richardson, the closer for the Toronto Maple Leafs, is warming up.
Just throwing the ball around. I don't know if I'd call that warming up by
any
stretch of the imagination, but you're right.
In a Game 5 situation, you never know what you might see. And you know, for both of these managers, the leashes have got to be pretty short on their starters. Beautiful bunt laid down by Morello. Procopio off the mound. Throw to first in time. A nice job at first by Castaldo to tag Morello on his back. It does advance the runner and does do the job. 1 away.
Exactly that. You play a little smart baseball here and you advance the runner, and nearly safe at first. You'll take that out to advance a base runner into scoring position. Now the Jackfish have a couple of outs here to get Hogan Brown home, and really that throw to 1 by Procopio, not the best throw at all, actually pulled him off the bag, and I believe he must have tagged him because I think he beat out the throw and touched the base, but was tagged.
And you bring up maybe the hottest man in this series, Steven Moretto. Batting out of the 3-hole here tonight. And we'll move back to second. Fans calling for
they want the balk, but tough to call.
It is tough to call.
4 umpires on the field.
We'll be watching a little bit closer now.
The umpires, very veterans of this league, are not going to mess up something like that.
That one is outside, ball 1.
Moretto, you talked about being the hottest hitter in this series and arguably the hottest hitter in the IBL right now. Homered, and I mentioned 3 consecutive games, but he's done it in dramatic fashion as well. One being a 10-pitch at-bat to homer here in Game 3, where he sent one over the wall to left field, battling back from an 0-2 count. And that's what got that huge game going for the Jackfish to take a 2-1 series lead.
Procopio in a 1-0 count to Moretto, runner in scoring position. Big cut by Moretto, nice pitch. Cutting away from the plate, 1-1 the count.
And Moretto, a very dramatic and theatrical guy. When he was coming around third, you see him trying to stir the pot a little bit and get the boys fired up. Very similar fashion last night in Toronto when he made it a 4-3 game, trying to get everybody fired up. Unfortunately, the Jackfish would then go out the next inning and give up 3 of their own, which some would call the TSN turning point. You make it 4-3. The very next half inning, it was 7-3.
2-1 to Moretto. And it bounces in there, gets by the catcher. Mara throw down to third, not in time. Hogan Brown swipes in, and now he's 90 feet away from the game's first run.
Little slight hesitation from Hogan Brown as Mara, who did lose and fumble that baseball, I think picked it up a little bit quicker than Hogan Brown anticipated. And you see him dive just early, trying to reach out, stretch his fingertips, able to get there in time as at the hot corner, it was Salazzo just fumbling the baseball as well. Lucky break for the Jackfish, as that would have taken all the momentum away, and the go-ahead run here away from third.
Moretto pops that one up down the first baseline. That's going to get up and out of play. Onto the berm and back onto the field.
It's got to be probably one of the best bounces. I heard them talking about it down there. One of the most awkward bounces we've seen here, as I'm not sure if it hit the light pole and bounced all the way back onto the field, but it's a pretty big hop.
Full count to Moretto. Here it comes. In tight, ball 4. Procorpio's walked him. Now runners at the corners for James Smybert, who has moved up in the order to the cleanup spot.
Yeah, why not? You bring James Smybert up into that number 4 spot with Martinez behind him, who has been struggling as of late. Smybert, he's homered in back-to-back games as well. He made that crucial error that you'll remember in Game 1 when he overthrew the ball to 1. But since then, Games 3 and 4, James Smybert has been able to send one out of the yard, and he's looking to keep this streak alive.
First pitch is bounced in. 1-0 the count.
I still can't hear you. Let's go.
Moretto leads off 1. Hogan off of third. Smybert sends it sky high in the infield. Playable for the catcher, Mara, who drops it.
Wow, he had his lucky socks on for that one.
Oh, my. Maybe the last guy you want to give another opportunity to is James Smybert.
As Smybert gets a huge break, I was just about to say, he has 5 extra base hits in the postseason, 3 of them coming in this series, 2 of them home runs. And then he just pops it straight up where Mara just fumbles it and gives him another chance to bring the count to 1-1.
With less than 2 outs, too, that's exactly what you want if you're the Maple Leafs. Can't convert. Smybert smacks that one into the parking lot. 1-2 the count.
Smybert, he's been waiting for that pitch on the inside part of the zone. Thomas West and his broadcast crew mentioned it and talked about it as well yesterday. Right if they bring him inside, he's able to turn the bat and just crank one to right field.
He bounces that one to first. They're going to come home. Not in time. Hogan Brown slides in safely as the tag was late from Mara. And now the Jackfish 2 aboard with only 1 away, and Mara looks shaken up with that slide.
Yeah, I'm not sure if his foot got him at the just above the ankle, or if it was the knee.
Oh.
But when he went to get back up, he couldn't put much pressure, I believe, on his left leg. And you could tell he's just walking and hobbling around right now. I thought actually he was going to be out, but the tag came late as he slid right underneath the tag for Mara.
Well, and it looks like he slid into that, lower ankle area of Mara. And again, that tag didn't come. If Mara swipes that tag on him, Hogan Brown's out by like a foot or so. But he couldn't get that tag down, and Brown slides right across the plate. But again, hopefully Mara's all right. A big piece to this Maple Leafs lineup, and I'm not even sure who they have as a back catcher off the bench.
While Salazzo was playing perfectly, they had the infield in to protect the plate and protect the runner coming home, and the throw was good. I'm actually shocked they didn't make that play. But unfortunately for the Toronto Maple Leafs, they give up the run, and now you have a shaken up catcher behind the dish. And Carlos Martinez now comes to the plate. They have a runner in scoring position as well. 2 aboard here with 1 out. And Alec, for the first time ever, the Jackfish have the first lead of the ball game.
For the first time this series, the Jackfish strike first. Beautiful night for baseball. It was a really hot, humid day here in Welland, and it's nicely cooled off as Martinez takes strike 1 on the outside part of the plate. And again, Mara slow to get up and walk around back there.
I think it's just a matter he's going to have to shake it off here a little bit, as he's going to be stung wherever the feeling may be, as it's hard to tell from up here. But this is a warrior here. He's going to battle through this, the IBL veteran. The Mara name, a household staple with the Toronto Maple Leaf baseball team, and in a Game 5 with a trip to the finals. I don't think little bump and bruise is going to keep him from playing baseball.
Shift to the left side for Toronto as you see Mara all the way in behind second base, leaving that big gaping hole down in right field as the pull hitter Martinez in an 0-2 count. And he fouls that one straight back all over that pitch, and he stays alive.
Yeah, Martinez has been struggling in this series to get ahead in counts and win at bats. He struck out 6 times in the postseason. That is the most of a Welland Jackfish this postseason. And now they move him down in the order behind Smybert into the number 5 spot. And so far, so good for Brian Esri.
Procorpio's pitch, that one is right to first. And caught by Castaldo, 2 away. Smybert had to scamper to get back in time to avoid the double play. And looks like Castaldo almost dropped that baseball.
Must have had a lot of spin on the baseball. As you can tell, it was almost fluttering right out of the hand of Castaldo, who fumbled it trying to go to get the double play at second. But
He drops that ball, it's probably a double play.
Right, for sure. I mean, that's a very tough play, and that would be a tough break for the Jackfish. But regardless, now you bring up Furistake with 2 aboard.
Caleb Furistake, who's another Jackfish that's been swinging the bat hot as of the start of the playoffs. Big cut and a miss from Furistake, 1-1.
Yeah, 8 RBIs for Caleb Furistake in the postseason, and he's done well in this series, as he's a guy that the Jackfish love to get back and really get him in the lineup on a regular basis here in the postseason.
And Furistake will step out. Looks like he got something in his eye. And now he'll step back in. Caleb Furistake, interesting story on him, actually trying to transition into a pitcher.
Yeah, lefty too.
As that one's low. He'll spend the winter continuing to work on that, but a pretty darn good hitter and outfielder is Caleb Furistake for this Welland team.
He's a gem that every team would love to have, no doubt about that, and the Jackfish are lucky to have him, and he has just done so many good things with the bat and defensively in the field. But when he's at the plate and he's hitting well and he's got, you know, good confidence in the batter's box, he's arguably probably one of the best to play in the IBL, and he's probably the hardest one to get out when he's winning at-bats, stretching at-bats. He finds a way to get on base.
As he takes a healthy cut at that one. Full count now to Furistake, who has been back and forth with the Welland Jackfish organization the past couple of years. He's gone up, played in the Frontier League, come back down this season. He was with the team last season. Payoff pitch to Furistake, cut on and missed strike 3. Procorpio works his way out of it. The Jackfish score 1 as they take the early 1-0 lead. After 1 here in Welland, it's the Fish 1, the Maple Leafs 0. To the second we go. Game 5, the IBL semifinal.
Going home with y'all.
Garrett Takamatsu.
So back here, inning number 2 underway. Hartford winds and delivers his first pitch of the second. Outside, 1-0 to Garrett Takamatsu. Hitting out of the cleanup spot and DHing tonight for the Maple Leafs like he has all series long. It'll be Takamatsu, Salazzo, and Jesse Hodges due up in the inning as cut on and miss 1-1.
Yeah, Takamatsu's done a good job in the postseason, just hitting below 300, a tad of a couple of points below 300, has 10 hits in the Dominico Cup postseason. But the shocking stat for me, he's only been walked 1 time.
That one is laced foul down the first base line. 1-2 the count. Hartford, long pause, now will get into his delivery. Here comes the 1-2. It's high and laid off, 2-2.
Hartford a little slower on that delivery than what we saw in the first couple of pitches of this inning. As that one misses high. See how he settles back in here in a 2-2 count.
Hartford in tight, now counts run full. Man on deck who came into this series, Spence, 1 for 15, has really heated up since game 3.
Yeah, had another great game last night in yesterday's ball game as he'll foul that one away and stay alive. Another home run, which saw the Bushman and the Toronto faithful get on their feet to keep his 2-game home run streak alive as well, as he, along with Smybert and Moretto, have had homers in back-to-back games.
Hartford, payoff pitch to Takamatsu is high. So a leadoff walk, and in game 1, Hartford, his one rocky inning was inning number 2.
Well, he's got to find a way to get out of trouble now as you bring up John Salazzo, and you'll have to pitch around and to make sure you don't leave anything up and in here to this man, who's been the hot bat for the Maple Leafs, and we talked about it before. You don't want to get him going. As you talked about 1 for 15 coming into the series, he's found a way to find his rhythm again and get something going for the Blue.
Carlos Martinez is going to head out and have a chat with Jake Hartford.
Just getting back on track here as a couple of pitches have missed off the mark, is clearly not where they've wanted. But a ball against this guy's maybe not the worst thing.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Salazzo, you know what he's looking for, that fastball up in the zone, and that one dips inside. 2-0 the count. Hartford out of the stretch, comes set. Salazzo slices one down the third base line. That ball's going to get into the corner. Hogan Brown picks it up. He gets it in, but it's going to be a double as the conductor pulls into second base, and now runners at second and third for Toronto.
Yeah, just able to hold up on that and send one to opposite field, and that was a tremendous piece of hitting from number 17, John Salazzo, who does it again for the Maple Leafs, as that'll be Salazzo's 9th hit of the postseason. Only batting .250, but really that .250 coming all in this series.
He's hit of this series.
Right, he has done tremendous things right here for his, like you said, 8th hit of the series, and that'll be his first double of the postseason.
A guy that you don't see go opposite field very often either, but he just stayed back on that pitch enough where he's able to lace that ball down the third base line. And now Brian Essery out to have a chat with Jake Hartford, who's now in tough here with nobody away in this top half of the second inning. And Jesse Hodges coming to the plate.
Yeah, the left fielder, former Chicago Cub minor league prospect here, coming to the dish, and He had a couple of hits in the last couple of ball games after going 0 for 4, striking out 3. That back at Christie Pitts in Game 2 has turned his game around. And now has a chance with 2 runners on, both in scoring position.
Harford delivers strike 1. Harford, I will say, a much more effective pitcher without runners on base. When he gets into that stretch, Spence, he seems to lose a little bit of control. So we'll see if he can get 1 out here to start. 1-1, as that one's chopped foul down the third baseline. 1-2 the count to the Maple Leaf left fielder tonight.
1 out of the time here, right? 1 out of the time. You have nobody out behind you. 2 on the base path with both in scoring position. And he's ahead in the count 1-2, right? You're going to face the bottom of the order next. Simply settle in here and go pitch by pitch, making sure you find your spot. You can't leave anything for chance.
Grip that one a little too tight as it bends off the plate. 2-2 the count. And again, you're right. You got, after Hodges here, it's 7, 8, 9 due up. So these are guys you got to retire. You're through the tough part of the lineup. And now it's just executing pitches. And that's exactly what he does there. A nice breaking ball. Gets a wave and a miss from Hodges, who strikes out. 1 away.
Yeah, Hodges obviously expecting the fastball there. Got way out in front of that one. And it's a beautiful bender for Jake Harford. And he's able to get Hodges to retire. Another strikeout for Hodges in this series.
So that'll bring in the center fielder, Lewis, who takes a healthy cut at that one and misses. 0-1. The Maple Leafs not a team, as that one's popped into the air. Shallow right field, it's gonna drop in. Miscommunication in the outfield between Furistake and Dupuis, and we're tied at 1 as Dupuis looked like he thought Furistake had that ball, and they both looked at each other as that ball falls in between the two of them. And the Maple Leafs catch a break here.
Furistake normally has the speed and just the confidence to go get those baseballs, as that one drops, like you said, right in between them. Clearly the communication off between Tyler Dupuis and Caleb Furistake, and that'll allow a run to score and tie the ball game up at 1 with only 1 out. A very tough break here in the second inning for the Jackfish. Just poor defense allows that run.
So, all knotted up at 1 here early on in this Game 5. As Dan Mara now in as he takes strike 1. And again, those are the things and types of plays, Spence, that you look back on a game like this, what the outcome will be is there's a ground ball to short. Smybert flips, Dupuis to 1. Not in time as that ball gets behind Moretto. A run will score, and the Leafs have a 2-1 lead.
Just couldn't turn the double play as the throw. Not a great one from Dupuis over to first base in time as it's in the dirt. And he couldn't scoop it up, was Moretto. That'll allow the run to score, and they take a 2-1 lead. And quickly the Leafs, once again, like they've done in the previous 4 games, have an early lead in the ball game. And once again, they do that here, getting that lead back that the Jackfish once had, scoring once in the first.
DeSantos a cut and a miss, 0-1. And exactly what I was going to say before that ball dropped in between Furistake and Dupuis. Maple Leafs aren't
2 innings, they gave up 2 runs. Both of them earned in that 11-9. So you see both ends of the spectrum here in the IBL.
Harford deals outside and another full count. Jackfish gets some bullpen action going. – he walked him. Harford walks the 9-hole hitter and brings up Jose Vinicio.
Shortstop.
Well,
Jose
you mentioned it was going to be a
Vinicio.
short leash on Harford. And Brian Essery now taking a quick look down at the bullpen for the Welland Jackfish. They're going to try to get him out of this inning and get Vinicio retired, but it'll be the top of the order.
This will be his last batter he sees, I'd assume, with Bradwell warming up.
Yeah, it's a very safe bet here with 2 runners on. You hope to get him out of the inning and keep the damage at just 2.
Harford, big breath, and that one to the backstop. And we'll see if that'll draw Brian Essery out of the dugout. It does. Bradwell heating up in a hurry down there, Spets. And again, this second inning, getting to Jake Harford.
Well, a good wise move there by Ethan Hunt to just come in and settle him down and buy your bullpen a little bit more time.
He looks ready.
And take as long as you need on the mound Harford here, and which will allow the bullpen a couple of more seconds, as now there's 2 runners on at scoring position.
That one in there for strike 1 as Vinicio trying to sell it. Umpire not buying it. 1-1 the count. Again, all he needs is 1 out to escape this inning. A 2-1 Leaf lead. Vinicio fouls it back. 1-2 the count.
From Harford.
Here it comes. Vinicio laces one to right field. That's going to score a pair. 1 run till right behind DeSantos. Leafs take a 4-1 lead here in the second. And that'll be it for Harford.
No, they're going to still warm him up. I think everybody in the ballpark wants Harford to come out now at this point, as Essery having a pretty good stare down at the bullpen.
Harford will deal strike 1 to Justin Mara. Pickoff attempt back to first base. In safely Vinicio. Always a threat to steal.
Well, he has such good speed. He got one yesterday against the Jackfish earlier in the ball game. Swiped a bag and got into scoring position. He did score off that. And Mara, you can tell something not right with that left foot, as he is in a lot of discomfort in the batter's box now. That's stemming from that slide into home plate.
1-1 the count. Harford deals outside 2-1. Yeah, Mara's not comfortable at all. Two and 1. Good enough though, as he laces one right up the middle, and that the drawing's on the board. Essery's already halfway out before that ball's back in the infield. Harford unravels here in inning number 2, and we'll see James Bradwell come into this game.
Yeah, it's a tough break for Harford, who again, the Toronto Maple Leafs just get out of the best of them, and he just unable to write the history he wanted and get a little bit of redemption. But the ball game far from over, and his team will try to pick him up here as the veteran Harford comes out of the ball game after only throwing 1 2/3 and has 2 runners on. Both are his responsibility.
Maple Leafs a 4 spot here in the top of the second. Will step aside as Bradwell warms up.
Your attention, please. Now pitching for the Welland Jackfish, number 30, James Bradwell.
So welcome back inside the ballpark. A lot going on in this warm-up intermission, Spence, as it looked like Justin Morrow was going to have to come out of this game. He was over by the dugout on his backside, and he's back over at first base.
Yeah, the medical team for Toronto doing a terrific job trying to get him in game shape and try to be able to stay in for as long as they can. But boy, is he in a lot of discomfort. Something wrong as he's trying to just put any sort of pressure on, I believe it's his left foot.
Yeah, and not a lead at all from first base. Bradwell now tasked with Jordan Castaldo as the Maple Leafs have batted around here in the second inning.
Yeah, it's not a start after you score one you want to give up, but this is only the second inning of work, and this is where the Jackfish have to be able to put the pass behind him here and start fresh. This is a new game. James Bradwell now on the hill, you have to think, and just start over.
As he delivers high, 1-1.
As it's really an awkward spot for Bradwell as well as he comes in and really a very short kind of warm-up session, but then he was kind of gifted a little extra time as Mara took his time with the trainer. So not a bad thing for the Jackfish as well.
And a regular starter for this Welland team as he comes in and gives up a base hit up the middle. RBI single, Castaldo, 5-1 Maple Leafs. As they put up a 5 spot here in inning number 2. And again, you don't ever want to bring a starting pitcher in halfway through an inning with runners on. You'd like to give them a fresh start, but Hartford was just struggling too mightily. They couldn't afford to let him have another batter.
Yeah, another hit for the Maple Leafs here as they've had their way with the Jackfish starters, both righties of Hartford and Bradwell so far. They get a hit as that run comes across the plate. It's an RBI for Jordan Castaldo.
So here's Takamatsu, who started the inning by walking. First pitch, breaking ball in there, strike one. Check swing, it's a strike anyways, 0-2 the count. Fans trying to get Bradwell through this inning. 0-2 on the way to Takamatsu. Cut on and missed. Strike 3. Inning finally over. Maple Leafs bat around. They score 5. To the bottom of the second we go. Leafs lead 5-1 here in Game 5.
Thank you, Rod. I'm here in section 102 with Dylan. This is Dylan's very first game.
When the unexpected happens, who can you call to guide you from crisis to calm? The trusted experts at ServiceMaster Restore are ready when you need us. We'll be there for you every step of the way. ServiceMaster Restore. We restore your home and your peace of mind. When the unexpected happens, who can you call to guide you from crisis to calm? The trusted experts at ServiceMaster Restore are ready when you need us. We'll be there for you every step of the way. ServiceMaster Restore. We restore your home and your peace of mind.
And you can catch live Welland Jackfish game action online. Join the voice of the Jackfish, Spencer and Allen, each and every home game at wellandjackfish.com or on your TV, Niagara.
half of inning number 2 here in Welland. Alec Murray alongside Spencer Tanguay with you for Game 5 of the Dominican Cup semi-final. And Welland, who hopped out to a 1-0 lead, all of a sudden finds themselves down 5-1 here in the bottom of the second. Some work to do, and it starts with the DH, Mateo Porcelato.
Yeah, Porcelato comes in as the designated hitter tonight. It'll be Porcelato, Dupuy, and Hunt. Time to forget what happened for the Jackfish here and start over. It starts with Mateo Porcelato.
Cut on and miss, strike 1 to Porcelato. Porcelato showing bunt. Now pulling back 0-2.
5 hits here in the postseason. Porcelato batting .227 for the Fish in the number 7 hole tonight for Brian Essery.
0-2 the count. As Procopio deals low, ball 1. Jackfish looking for any sort of momentum here in inning number 2. 1-2 the count to Porcelato. Porcelato rips one on the ground to second. Mara's got it. Flip to 1 in time, 1 away.
The Jack
Dealing to the backstop. Procopio 1-0 to the 8-hole hitter and second baseman Tyler Dupuy. Cut on and missed. Dupuy chases a ball 1-1.
Procopio before this inning was actually struggling to find the zone with his warm-up pitches, getting a little bit frustrated with himself, comes back and gets him to chase on that fastball, but really couldn't find the zone as that one misses as well.
2-1 the count. In up at the head of Dupuy. 3-1 the count now as he's to the ground and hops back up.
The previous pitch was close. That one really close to Tyler Dupuy, as that one will take the wind out of him.
3-1. Cut on and miss, full count.
Good solid recovery pitch there by Procopio, going right back at him.
Seems like that fastball is really either or. It's either way outside of the zone or it's right down Broadway. Here comes the payoff. There it is again. That one way out of the zone, so Dupuy draws a 1-out walk. And that'll bring Ethan Hunt to the dish.
Well, this will be Procopio's first start here at Welland Stadium in a long time. And in Toronto, the mound much higher. It's a completely different feel for pitchers pitching here than it is at Domenico Field of Christie Pitts. Completely different look for batters as well. And Procopio just trying to get adjusted to the rubbers. You see him get settled in on the mound here. We'll keep an eye on how he gets settled. And if he changes anything, maybe steps over 1 or 2 inches. But right now, just doesn't seem comfortable here in the second.
Hunt takes outside for ball 1. And this one definitely a much more pitcher-friendly ballpark here at Welland Stadium than down at Christie Pitts, of course. A lot shorter down the lines and up at center. Wind blowing left to right as Procopio is able to find the inside part of the plate. 1-1 the count to Ethan Hunt. And then we'll go back to the top of the lineup with Hogan Brown, who waits on deck, and Gio Morello in the hole. Hunt takes outside, 2-1 the count. Two and one. Percorpio deals low, 3-1.
Get into a hitter's count now as Percorpio, I mentioned, just not getting any sort of rhythm here in the second. Now thought he had that strike to even the count at 2, but it goes the favor of the Jackfish. And Hunt now in a hitter's count, 3-1.
Percorpio deals in tight, ball 4, back-to-back walks, and that'll flip it over for the top of the lineup. As Sam Green will go out to the mound for a pitcher's visit with Dan Percorpio.
His ERA in the postseason, 2.76 in 13 innings. He's got a couple of starts. He's only walked 3 coming into the ball game. That's back-to-back walks given up by the right-hander. So he's going to have to try to settle him down here as the Jackfish get something going here off a couple of mistakes from the right-hander Percorpio. Just can't find a little bit of consistency, and they'll try to smooth everything over. As now you'll face right back to the top of the order for Hogan Brown of the Jackfish, as you'll face Brown and then Morello. And Hogan Brown has the only run for the Jackfish in tonight's game. Has a chance now with 2 runners on and 1 in scoring position, down by 4. This is a good time for the Jackfish. Got to cash in, especially in a Game 5, Alec. There's no time to say, oh, we'll get it next inning. You have to do it now and get back right in it.
In elimination games, Spence, you start taking track of little errors in defensive plays and things that you might think can turn a game on a dime. Right here's an at-bat. If Hogan Brown's able to connect, can turn a game on a dime, just like in the top of the inning. That ball that drops in the outfield is right now having a big effect on this game. And Hogan Brown, big cut at that one, 0-1.
Just going to say, you saw Brown there want to take that one for a ride. And
flares that one off the left side. That ball's going to drop in. Getting the stop sign at third base is Dupuis. I think it would have been close at home, but of course with only 1 out, playing conservative at third base, and we'll see if that works out for Welland now with the bases loaded and Gio Morello to the dish.
Yeah, late stop sign from Pat Casey at third as he thought he was going to round third and come home, but they will stop Tyler Dupuis. And now the bases are loaded though for Gio Morello. 5-1 ball game. Bases loaded here for the lefty Gio Morello.
Your TSN turning point, Spence. Here it is. 1 away. Bases full of fish. High ball 1.
Yeah, big opportunity here for the Jackfish to simply get in a couple of runs, if not more. And you get the best part of the order. Morello, then Moretto and Smyberg have to win these at-bats.
That one gets behind Mara. Dupuis will score. Hunt thought about it. He's going to hold up. Of course, Mara limping on that leg, Spence, and it took him a while to get to that ball.
Yeah, this is a complete kind of fluky play that leads to an injury for Mara, and he is for sure not okay. We talked about it in the first where the slide coming in has affected him, and now you see the effect right here defensively. He's not able to get to that baseball quick. The run was coming in regardless to score, but he doesn't want to put as much pressure on it if he has to. That takes him out of his stance, and now he's got to get up, get that baseball.
Runners at second and third. Morello takes inside, 3-0.
That's the first time this ball game the righty for Toronto has given up 3 straight balls. And probably the first time this postseason, not many times, you see Percorpio in a spot like this.
Pumps in strike 1 at the knees. And another interesting thing to keep in the back of your head, Bradwell, who came on for about 5 pitches, Spence, in that top half of the inning. Now sat for a long time in that dugout. You got the big boys coming up to bat, 3, 4, 5 for Welland.
Well, Adam Mara now warming up in the bullpen, the lefty for the Toronto Maple Leafs, number 32. I mentioned he only gave up 3 walks in the postseason coming into this ball game. That's the 3rd time tonight he's walked a batter, bases on balls, and now the bases are loaded again for the Fish.
Moretto turns on that one, comes up empty, 0-1.
Boy, it'd be a big spot here for Moretto. We talked about it, homered in back-to-back-to-back games. 3 straight bombs, 3 straight games for this man, Steven Moretto, and has a chance with the bases loaded.
0-1 on the way. Cut on and missed, 0-2. And again, even a ball to the gap, Spence scores 2. And probably the fastest guy on the team at first base.
Well, now he's got to find a way to show what he's done before. Battle back from an 0-2 count.
Just got to keep it simple. Moretto bounces 1 to third. Play to second. They throw it away! 1 run scores, getting sent home. Hogan Brown will cross home. And it's the Maple Leafs in the bottom half of the inning that make a defensive error that allows 2 runs to score. A double play ball that would have got them out of the inning turns into everybody safe in 2 runs scoring. 5-4 ball game.
Well, there's a lot of runs and a lot of craziness happening in this Game 5 already. I mentioned a 2-1 ball game that happened in Toronto. This is looking more like an 11-9 ball game that happened back in May. These 2 teams have met so many times throughout this season. There's so many storylines between these 2 teams. The rivalry is just heating up. 5-4 ball game now as Moretto catches a break from an error from the 3rd baseman.
So here is Smybert with runners at first and second. Smybert all over that pitch, fouls it straight back, 0-2.
You have Morello aboard at second and Moretto at first here. 0-2 the count, 1 out. The Jackfish have yet to steal a bag tonight other than the wild pitch. No traditional stolen bases yet for the Jackfish.
Morello a pretty conservative lead over there at second base. Of course, doesn't want to run into an out. He did in Game 3 when he tried to steal or come home on a pitch that really didn't get that far away from Mara and was out by a good amount. Smybert fouls that one off out of play, staying alive, 1-2.
And Adam Mara in the bullpen now throwing at nearly 100% as if he is going to make an appearance in this ball game. Maybe not this inning, depending on how Procopio handles the next couple of batters, and he'll have to face Smybert in a 1-2 count.
Only 1 away. 1-2 to Smybert, way outside. Not competitive, 2-2. And with the off day 2 days ago on Tuesday, Wednesday yesterday, Alvarado throwing a complete game. This Maple Leafs bullpen, since getting a shellacking in Game 3, have had 3 days off pretty much. So everybody should be ready to roll for them. Smybert sticks the head out and sends that one into shallow left field. Drifting over is Hodges. He's got it. 2 away, big out there for Procopio.
Hodges has a cannon out in the field, and that is a dart right to Salazzo at third, and that'll keep the base runner of Morello tight at second base. What a good arm from the left fielder of Hodges to get that baseball in quickly. And now 2 down, and it brings up Martinez, who's due to break out of this little slump he's been in. He's got a big hit in this series, that back at Christie Pitts where he scored a couple of RBIs. But since then, not much has come from 33.
Martinez came to us being an elite contact hitter. He almost never struck out. He would make contact with the ball, and he's a base hit machine, and that's what we saw a lot later in this season. But again, he's really cooled off here in this round 2 series. And again, you see him swing at that pitch way up at his head, not even close to the zone, and he sends that one as he pops it up. Who's got it? Salazzo has it, inning over. Martinez continues to struggle at the dish, but Welland comes back with 3 runs, and it's a 5-4 ball game to the third we go here in Game 5.
Pizza. Who wants a hot, fresh, large pizza?
Going home with y'all.
Going home with y'all.
Tailgates is the official post-game location of the Welland Jackfish. Visit them after any 2023 home game at 200 Fifth Street here in Welland. Bring your game ticket and receive 10% off your order. Wear the fish this postseason. Head over to the Tackle Box, the official merchandise shop of your Welland Jackfish. There you'll find a great selection of hats, t-shirts, and game jerseys to show you're a true fanatic. You can also shop online at shop.wellandjackfish.com. Somebody call the po-po. I'm going crazy. Think about you, baby. 5150, just a side of logo.
If you like to talk to tomatoes, if a
Leading off the third inning for Toronto.
So welcome back inside the ballpark.
Salazzo.
You wouldn't know this is an elimination game, Spence, if we didn't tell you. What a first 2 innings we've had here at the pond in Game 5 winner to face the Barrie Bay Cats. If it's Toronto, they will go to Barrie for Game 1. If Welland is able to come out on top, Game 1 will be here at the pond of the finals. As Bradwell back out on the bump. Quickly 0-2, and you'd like to see Bradwell bounce back here again. Came in for a short amount of time in that inning, sat for a while as his team sent 8 men to the plate in that inning.
Yeah, now he comes out and faces probably one of the best for the Toronto Maple Leafs of Salazzo.
Right out of the gate.
Who's got homers in back-to-back games and already been effective in tonight's game.
He's got a double, and he's scored a run for Toronto. Cut on and missed, strike 3 as Bradwell pulls the string. 1 away.
That's a nasty pitch from the right-hander James Bradwell coming in a relief as he fools Salazzo with the off-speed pitch to ring him up for another K.
Bradwell's first strikeout of the night, the 4th of the night for Jackfish pitching. As the E goes up. That one a high chopper. Bradwell taking his time, underhand toss to first. In time. Hodges retired on 1 pitch. Quickly 2 away.
Able to keep your eye on that baseball. Such an overrated play, and you see it happen. So many mistakes made by infielders and pitchers and fielders. Everyone on the base, everyone on the field, really. You take your eye off the baseball, trying to get ahead of yourself, and you drop it. He took his time, made sure he squeezed it, had full control, and made a nice flip pass over to 1.
Well, and it's a common play too, right? You have that ball, you got the guy gunning it down the first baseline, and you're just like, you try to throw the baseball before you even have it in your glove. That's when mistakes happen. But again, Bradwell doing a good job taking his time, knowing who he's got running. Hodges not the fastest guy down the line, and he's able to make the play on the first. 0-2 now as Lewis now in a 0-2 hole. Bradwell working quickly as we saw in his start last time out. And likes to work at different speeds to try and throw the batter's timing off.
Well, we'll see if he comes back with that off-speed pitch, which he got Solazo to swing and bite so early on in a 1-2 now to Lewis.
He does, and it's the exact same result. Swung on and missed. Have a bounce back inning, Mr. Bradwell, as he strikes out 2, 3 up, 3 down. Free fries for everybody in attendance with strikeout number 5. To the bottom of the third we go. 5-4 TML.
Ryan Harrison.
Here we go. We got Logan and Austin for the Empty Bellies Dizzy Bat race. Here's how this works. When I say go, head to bat, bat to 4, spin around till I say stop. At which point, get up, hit the ball off the tee. First contestant to do so walks home with $25 to Empty Bellies. Listen, fanatics, we're going to need you all night long. Make some noise for our contestants. I said make some noise for our contestants. On your mark, get started, go. They're off. Quick times, wow. Austin, go. Hold your up out of here, keep them spinning. One of my personal favorites. They fall down. How's that going? Not a bad inning there, huh? Yeah. All right. You think he's dizzy yet? Yeah? Bunch of jerks up in this round. Yeah. Keep going, keep going. Over now. On your mark, get set, go. Okay, we both win. Let's go. They both win. First time ever in Dizzy Bat history. We're both go-ahead victors.
Empty Bellies is the official pregame location of the Welland Jackfish. Throughout the 2023 postseason, go for lunch or dinner at Empty Bellies before any Thursday or Saturday home game. Spend $20 or more per person before tax and receive a $5 ticket to the game. Empty Bellies, big food, big fun. Leading off the third inning for your Jackfish. Right fielder number 1, Caleb Furustate.
You can run on for a long time. Run on for a long time.
And a welcome back inside Welland Stadium here. Maple Leafs and Jackfish, Game 5. And it's a 5-4 Maple Leafs lead. It's Alec Murray alongside Spencer Tangway with you for this one. As the first pitch from Dan Porcorpio is back out on the bump. Is strike 1 to Caleb Furustate, who's leading things off. He struck out back in inning number 1. Furustate gets into one to left field. It's slicing away from Hodges. That ball's going to get down into the corner. Furustate easily into second. Now turns and he's going for 3. In head first. He's out. Furustate frustrated as he's thrown out at third base. And a great start to an inning goes downhill quickly as Furustate trying to get another 90 feet, and he had an easy double. Wanted more, just not enough speed.
Well, and I think you just have to, he obviously thought he had the time to take that risk, but you don't realize Hodges has probably one of the best arms in the left field for the Maple Leafs. You saw it in the last half inning relaying a ball in, which kept Morello at second base. And now Furustate trying to beat him, and it's another good throw from Hodges from left. And once again, he shows his arm, and he'll get the assist on that one.
And again, Hodges, we talk about it, started the year as a starter. He's got a cannon out there in left field. And again, I understand it a little bit maybe if that ball's down the right field line, but with that ball being down the left field line, a little bit harder to take an extra base. And now Porchelato in an 0-2 count. And I get it still. It's an early on game, right? But again, thinking statistically, Caleb Furistake is pretty fast. He's got some good speed. A base hit usually scores him from second, right? As Porcelado strikes out, 2 away.
One other quick inning here from Procopio like he did in the first. He gave up a run, but he seemed better on the mound. The second inning was not his inning, but boy, is he settled in here quickly. Gives up that for sure double, which they are able to get him out at third from a nice defensive assist from Hodges, but now he makes quick work of the follow-up batter of Porcelado with 3 straight strikes.
And Dupuis chases in the dirt, 0-1.
Dupuis started the walk train, as we'll call it, of the second inning as he was walked from Procopio. Now he'll have to battle back from an 0-1 count, 4th consecutive strike from the righty.
Oh, and that one hits Tyler Dupuis up and in once again on TD6, so he'll walk on down to first base with 2 away. So Dupuis aboard for the second time tonight, and that'll bring up Ethan Hunt.
Yeah, you bring up a good bat of Ethan Hunt here, which would have been, like we said, 2 runners on, but only 1 now, with Dupuis getting one right off the elbow.
Third baseman, number 9, Ethan Hunt.
So here is Hunt. Hunt walked and scored back in the second as he takes low, ball 1.
4th time in the ball game now. He's given up a free base. 3 bases on balls, and then he just hit Dupuis for another. Increases his postseason total to 7 now.
Well, and you look at the walks Spence back in inning 2. Not a shy fact that walks always end up coming around to bite you in the butt. Again, last inning in the second, 2 of the 3 walks came in to score in that inning from Procopio. So again, another free base, and we'll see if Hunt can extend the inning. Dupuis, good speed at first. A ball to the gap. See what happens. Cut on and miss. Again, that high fastball seems to be Procopio's way of getting swings and misses against this Jackfish team, as Hunt's eyes lighting up there, and again, just not able to get that bat head around in time. 1-2. Procopio trying to work out of it. Hunt able to catch up to that one, but just under it as it's up and out of play. That's the exact same pitch as the last one.
Just better timing from Ethan Hunt, who's trying to settle in here and battle back from this at-bat. 1-2 the count. We'll see if he gets the green light at first to try to steal the bag.
Dupuis, conservative lead off first. As that one is low, 2-2. Nice take from Hunt.
It's a pretty tough take to really hold off on that one, as that one just misses inside. Good eye from Ethan Hunt to get back in this, and that's sometimes what you have to do here in a 2-2 count to win a long at-bat.
2-2 on the way. And that one also inside, 3-2. Sam Green out of the dugout has some words for the home plate umpire.
Well, now you know the hit and run's going to be on here, 3-2. And the Jackfish have one of the fastest guys on the team at first base of Tyler Dupuis. Still not a big lead off first.
There goes Dupuis. Hunt bounces one up the middle to the sure-handed Vinicio on to first. Sam Green coming back out, yipping at the home plate umpire as the Maple Leafs get out of it unscathed. A promising inning quickly turned down. To the 4th we go. It's a 5-4 Maple Leafs lead.
Nice China fan of the game. He's going to walk home with a China fan pack. But to do that, he's going to do one thing only for me, get this crowd.
When the unexpected happens, who can you call to guide you from crisis to calm? The trusted experts at Service Master Restore are ready when you need us. We'll be there for you every step of the way. Service Master Restore. We restore your home and your peace of mind. When the unexpected happens, who can you call to guide you from crisis to calm? The trusted experts at Service Master Restore are ready when you need us. We'll be there for you every step of the way. Service Master Restore. We restore your home and your peace of mind.
Leading off the fourth inning for the Maple Leafs, second baseman Dan Morrow.
Top of the fourth inning here in Welland, Game 5 of the Dominican Cup semifinal. And what a series it's been, back and forth. We've had extra innings, we've had blowouts, we've had tight games, we've had good pitching performances, we've had a little bit of everything. Lots of power flashed in this series by both teams. And that brings us to a Game 5, do or die, win or go home.
And a Game 5 that you expect to see a good ball game, and this has been an interesting ball game to say the least, as you've had a little bit of everything. Both teams have made it over that hump, the 3-run hump, which one team hasn't been able to do in this series every game.
1-2 the count, as we got 8-9-1 due up for the Maple Leafs. Mara, Dos Santos, and Vericio. Bradwell, there's that slider, going to be a tough play. Hunt got it to one in time. What a play, what a stretch over at one by Steven Moretto to complete it. The Maple Leafs are red hot at that call. Nonetheless, one away here in the fourth.
It's a good defensive play by the third baseman to be able to read and react, to pick up that baseball and not break stride to make that throw over to one. That's got to be a quick catch and release and on the move. It's a great heads-up play by the third baseman at the hot corner to be able to turn that and get the first out.
Bradwell pumps in strike one on the inside part of the plate, 0-1.
Made it look like he's done that before. I mentioned Vericio yesterday for the Maple Leafs. Had probably the best game of the postseason defensively, and maybe the best game of his season. So many balls right to the shortstop, and that one, another good play for the third baseman tonight for the Jackfish.
That one on the ground is second. Dupuis backhands it. Up with it, throw to one in time, quickly two away. And again, a play you usually see barehanded over at the hot corner. Hunt takes his time. Not the fastest guy running in Mara. He's able to make that throw on just in the nick of time. And Bradwell's on his way to another pretty quick inning here.
Well, it's the difference here in the IBL. These routine ground balls sometimes aren't routine at all. And
We've seen it in the first couple of innings here tonight.
If you can keep them routine and just play simple and make sure you have 100% grip of the baseball, you make sure you get those routine outs and keep the score sheet clean, you're going to have a good game defensively, and that's what the Jackfish are trying to turn around here.
Bradwell deals outside, 2-0 the count. To Vericio is Justin Mara, who continues to play in this game, on deck.
Vericio, one of the toughest outs in the IBL. I mentioned 14 hits. He already has 3 doubles in the postseason, and he's driven home 7 runs as well. Now gets a 3-0 count, 3 straight balls from the right-hander Bradwell to one of the toughest outs for this Toronto Maple Leaf lineup, the leadoff man of Vinicio.
Outside, and he loses them on 4 straight pitches. Didn't look like he wanted any part of
Pitcher,
Jose Vinicio,
Justin
and he'll
Mara.
take his odds at Justin Mara instead.
While Mara, who did go down, was able to single the last time he was up at the plate with that very sore foot. So we'll see if he comes right back at him here and tries to get the out now as they walk Vinicio.
That one on the ground to second. Dupuis gobbles it up, throw to 1 in time. Inning over. Bradwell. A couple of scoreless frames here for Welland. To the bottom of the 4th we go. 5-4 Leafs lead game 5.
Fisherman's race. Back down to the director of fun we go.
Thank you, Ryan. I got Devin and Joel versus Zyrick and Ty for the IG Wealth Management Fisherman's race. Really, how this works, pretty simple. Go down, grab a fish, put it back up. Once all 3 are dropped, the first person across the line as Jacques wins. $25 of Boston Pizza. Fans, I need you to make some noise for our contestants. Let's go. On your mark, get set, go. It wasn't listening, my fault. All right, here we go, first fish. That's good. There we go, second fish. Congratulations, Zyrick and Ty. You're up in holes with a $25 gift card to Boston.
Just confess your girl admits that we F-R-E-S-H-3 fresh G-E-F, that's right, we get it. We definitely, we EP, we reppin' it, so turn me up, come on baby, just pump it, pump it, pump it, pump it, pump it, pump it. Turn up the radio, life is still me right.
Leading off the 4th inning for your Welland Jackfish.
All right,
Left fielder number
bottom of the
24,
4th we go as we
Hogan.
continue to crawl along here in game 5. Alec Murray with Spencer Tangway with you for this one. Last game of round 2 before the finals hit. Who's it gonna be? We're in a tight one here, 5-4. Hogan Brown, first pitch of the inning, bounces to Mara at second, throw on to first in time. 1 pitch, 1 out for Dan Procorpio.
Center fielder number 11.
The Maple Leafs
Gio.
yesterday were able to take a lot of first pitches and turn them into hits, and that's what Hogan Brown just tried to do there. Unfortunately, right into the 4-3 putout for the opening out here in the 4th inning. But this game has seen everything, and it finally seems, Alec, like we may have kind of found a little bit of a slowdown pause. As well. I don't know how to explain that. The second inning brought everyone to their feet for both sides. 8 runs scored in that second inning. 5 by the Maple Leafs, 3 by the Jackfish in a 5-4 game.
First pitch to Morello is there for strike 1. Gio tonight had a sacrifice bunt, and he's walked. Almost was able to beat that bunt attempt out. There's another little squibbler in front of the mound. Gonna be a tough play onto 1 in time. A nice play by Procorpio off the bump.
There's a bullet over to 1 in time, and you've got to get Morello, who's got a lot of speed going down that base path. Just beats out the runner. Had a couple of bounces before he finally picked up that baseball in the infield. Grass kind of just ate it up a little bit, and Morello just couldn't get there in time.
That's a great play by Procopio, falling to his backside as he makes that throw. Made it look a lot easier than that play is. Right on target, too, and he's quickly retired the first 2 batters he's seen here in the 4th.
Well, he certainly needed everything he gave on that throw over to 1. That was not an easy play.
Let's go! Let's go!
And he hit him. Moretto hit by the pitch. Procopio has hit another man, and Sam Green once again coming out of the dugout. He's just going to grab that ball. So Moretto down to first base with 2 away. It's again 2 quick outs and a hit by pitch on Procopio.
Well, the Jackfish will have to make some magic here, some 2-out magic, if they're going to do something here in the 4th inning.
He's already thrown 80 pitches in this ball game, 81 coming up here.
Well, they did have the lefty Adamara warming up. I mentioned he was throwing full pitches in that 2nd inning, but has sat down since. So I'm assuming he's got to be getting close. He might come back up and warm up again. He should be ready to go, though, if needed. That's a high pitch count already here in the 4th.
It is, and well, once again, you look back to that 2nd inning, and that's where a lot of those pitches came. But the deeper your starter goes, usually, Spence, the more you kind of eliminate guys in line, right? So we'll see if Mara does hop back up, which indeed, you know, he is one of the better arms for this Maple Leafs team out of the bullpen.
Well, they only used that one pitcher yesterday for a 140-pitch start.
I don't know how.
For Alvarado. Emotion got him through that game. If you were there at the pits, you witnessed it. Boy, was he fired up to get that win, as he should be.
Smybert takes strike 3, looking right down Broadway. Not sure what he was looking for.
Let's
strike
head down
3.
To the field once again. It's time for the
to the 5th. Leafs continue to lead Game 5, 5-4 here in Welland.
And Ryan Harrison has the rest of your information as well. Ryan, who is part of the Pony Hop tonight?
We got Scotty and Bryson for the Jackfish Pony Hop. Here's how this works. Pretty simple. If you've ever been to a 40-degree racetrack, you know exactly what's going to happen. When I say go, you take off on your ponies, bounce down to Jacques. First across the line wins a Rose City Timber Tigers t-shirt. Fans, again, I need you to make some noise for our contestants. On your mark. Get set. Go. They're on. Uh-oh. Come on, Scotty. Scotty's got a nice big lead here. Must be there, Jones. Oh, it's going to be close. It's going to be close. Congratulations, Scotty. You're on the home of the Rose City Timber Tigers t-shirt. Fans, one more time for our contestants.
Have a birthday coming up? Spend it with the fish. Book a Jackfish birthday party tonight and let the Jackfish turn your birthday into the best one yet. Group bookings can be made by visiting guest services at the front gate or our website, wellandjackfish.com. Join the fish at Tailgates Bar and Grill, the official hangout of your Welland Jackfish. Enjoy all 2023 road playoff games on the big screen and enjoy Jackfish specials during the game. Tailgates is located at 205th Street in Welland.
So, and welcome back inside the ballpark.
First baseman Jordan
as we continue to move along here, and a little bit of everything so far in this winner go home Game 5 here in Welland. James Bradwell back out on the bump. He's been excellent since coming in relief of Jake Hartford. He was only able to get through 1 1/3. He'll continue to roll here as he'll face the meat and potatoes of this Maple Leafs lineup: Castaldo, Takamatsu, and Salazzo. Bradwell starts him off with a strike.
You couldn't be more correct when you say they're going to face the heart of this order right here. And it's been the heart of this order for this series The Toronto Maple Leafs have been known to put up runs in bunches, just like the Welland Jackfish. They're a high-scoring offense and a high-powered team. But these three guys have done tremendous work against the Jackfish and have found success.
0-2 to the first baseman for the Leafs. Here it comes. Oh, in tight. As Castaldo pops out of the way. 1-2.
Castaldo batting .346, has 9 hits in the postseason. But like I said, he's walked 12 times. Only other person close to that on the Maple Leafs lineup is Dan Mara, who's walked half of that 6 times.
Oh.
So he gets on base, and that's exactly what you want when you have Takamatsu and Salazzo following him up right behind him.
2 heavy hitters. Castaldo trying to start the inning off for the Maple Leafs. So 1-2 count. Bradwell into his windup now, delivers. There's that slider once again. And he's able to fight it off. That's such a good put-away pitch for Bradwell. You see it on righty-righty, righty-lefty. Maybe even a little bit harder as that pitch is coming inside, in on your hands. Looking for that outside corner with a fastball. Doesn't get the call. 2-2.
Martinez really trying to do a good job to frame that well for Jeff Rose, the home plate umpire. But that one misses outside. 2-2, and we'll see if he comes back with that bender.
Got him looking. Castaldo down on strikes. And that's how we start inning number 5. Another strikeout for Bradwell.
Well, since coming in a relief, he's had to come in a really tough spot. He has just thrown out kind of all the nonsense in his head and just taken the mound like this is his start. And he's done a tremendous job for the Jackfish and for Brian Essery. Exactly what you want from a starter coming in relief early in a game. Just take it like it's your own ball game.
Check swing. He went around, says the home plate umpire. 0-1. And again, I was worried when Bradwell came in, Spence. We were always hoping to get a starter a clean inning if he's coming in relief. He didn't get that. He came on with runners in the corners, got the out, and now has been excellent here through 2 1/3.
It's a good place pitch right there as Takamatsu wanted that one on the inside part of the zone, but he fouled it, and I believe it hit himself actually as it went off its foot. As he seems to be okay, kicks the dust off and gets right back in there.
Takamatsu fouled that pitch off in game 1. As there's that nasty slider once again. Takamatsu down on strikes again. Identical pitch. That slider that cuts in. It starts over top of the plate. It looks like it's going to be a beautiful pitch to hit. And it just tails off at the last minute towards the end of the bat. And Takamatsu facing Bradwell tonight, 0 for 2 with 2 Ks.
Yeah, he's so good when he mixes in his pitches like that, and he's able to get ahead of all these batters. And then when he throws the off-speed pitch and the batters just simply don't have any chance at that one that's going to bend away. Beautiful.
Salazzo first pitch on the ground to Puig. What a job by Mr. Bradwell as he another scoreless inning. 3 scoreless from James Bradwell. To the bottom half we go. 5-4 Leafs in game 5.
Lions stands with one lucky lady tonight, Ryan.
Going home with y'all.
Going home with y'all.
Catcher number 33, Carlos Martinez.
So welcome back inside the ballpark. Here we go, bottom of the 5th inning. Carlos Martinez leading things off. It'll be Martinez, Furistake, and Porchelato due up against Dan Percorpio, who continues to throw here for the Maple Leafs as Martinez takes up and away, ball 1. 5-4 ball game, and Spence, it's been a weird one to say the least thus far. The second inning, you take this out, it's like a 2-1 game. 5 runs by the Leafs, 3 by Welland, as that one's inside, 2-0 to Martinez.
Yeah, if you miss the second inning, you miss the ball game. Really, the Jackfish get out in front in the bottom half of the first, a 1-0 lead, but then everything else happened in that second inning. Since then, 0's on the board, and we've settled down a little bit here with Martinez at the dish to lead things off for the Fish.
Strike called on Martinez. Fans don't love it. 2-1 the count. One looked a little bit tight. That one inside as Percorpio looked to go back to the exact same spot. And he just missed to the inside part of the plate. 3-1 now, and a good count for Martinez.
You have to wonder, maybe he was told, hey, just hold up here a little bit here and let Percorpio pitch to you as Martinez tries to get aboard and settle back into his rhythm here at the dish.
And Martinez takes a hack at that one and fouls it back. So a full count. We'll see if Martinez can get aboard here to start off the bottom of the 5th. Here it comes. Outside and low, ball 4. He draws a walk. And Percorpio hasn't had the best control tonight. And let's see if Welland can build off of this, Spence. They have struggled at times this series hitting with runners on. But then again, other times they just seem to explode.
Well, with Martinez doing his job, now Furistake gets a chance for a little bit of redemption here. Just get the baseball in play and move the base runners over. Move Martinez into scoring position. If you can send one down to Hodges, right where he put that one, just in fair territory, Martinez is going to get to third on the play.
Not the fastest runner, Martinez, at first.
Just have to get a ball in play here and get him into scoring position.
Defense playing straight up. Playing in is Salazzo at third base as he's looking at that bunt from Furistake. Welland's been playing a lot of small ball lately, trying to manufacture some runs. But again, nobody out. I don't know why you have the bunt on here. We'll see if he gets the green light. And not showing bunt at all there, so Salazzo will back off. 1-1 the count. Furistake, if you don't remember, doubled a couple of innings ago, was thrown out at third trying to take an extra 90 feet on Hodges. And a promising inning for Welland turned into a pretty quick one for Percorpio as he deals outside 2-1.
And his pitch
count,
3-0
check, sorry.
Pitch count has to be getting up there now. As you were speaking, got to be in the mid-80s when I last heard. Got to be upwards almost to 100 now for the right-hander. As I take a look, and Ibarra now warming up once again in the pen for the Toronto Maple Leafs with nobody out, and his pitcher on the hill in a 3-0 situation.
That's his 94th pitch of the ball game, Spence.
So 5 away from triple digits. You'd have to think he's got a really short leash here in this inning.
Put that into perspective of Alvarado last night. He was 140 through 9, complete. 3-1. On the outside part of the plate, full count.
Well, he bounces right back, able to get 2 in there. And now Furistake, who had a 3-0 count, now sits on a full count.
High, ball 4, and it's back-to-back walks to start the inning, and the Jackfish have attacked this inning a little bit different. as that'll bring Sam Green. We'll see if he makes the call to the bullpen.
Well, back-to-back walks. This has been just a nightmare for Procopio, as how many he has given up to the Jackfish batters. I believe that's his 5th walk of the ball game now, after allowing, that's his 6th, as he hit a batter as well. 5 walks, and he hit Dupuis. So too many pitches, and that's complete opposite of what he did in Game 2 for the Toronto Maple Leafs. He was so effective, and his bullpen just let him down in Toronto. He had so much control on the hill at home, and maybe when you think about it, I'm not sure if he's used to that mound a little bit more in Toronto, has more control, feels better pitching at home, and just can't get settled here on the road on a completely different bump here in Welland. And you talk to some pitchers, they say they prefer this mound, but they can't stand the landing area on the mound here in Welland.
We saw it was a problem, Spence, in Game 1, especially Hartford, and Alvarado was having a problem with that landing spot. 7th inning stretch for us.
Yeah. Well, new life for the Fish here now as they have a chance here with nobody out in a 1-run ball game, 2 base runners on.
Procopio deals outside, ball 1-2. Mateo Porcelato, who's grounded to second and struck out. Morrow looks ready in the bullpen. I imagine this is Procopio's last batter. Bounces it in 2-0.
Once again, he's behind an account quickly. 2 straight balls, as this, I think, is his 3rd straight batter that he has yet to throw a strike to lead off an at-bat, where you look at his stats in Game 2, almost every at-bat was a first pitch strike.
Well, look at it as well. Toronto doesn't have their manager here, right? So it's a player, Green, who's trying to manage this ball game. And what a tough spot it is for him, right? Do I leave him? Do I take him? If I take him, is it too early? If I leave him, is it too late? 1-run ball game, 5-4. Tough spot here for Sam Green as well, who was thrown on the mound 2 days ago. Now he's trying to manage his team to a Game 5 win.
And just the lefty warming up, as Bunt is shown, pulls back.
Oh, be careful at second.
But they only have that one arm up in the pen, and it is the lefty Mara.
Which is kind of weird. You got a couple of right-handed batters due up in the order in Dupuis and Hunt. Did he?
So they're calling it
calling
a strike, and that's what Brian Essery right away comes out of the dugout to contest. Count on the board is 2-2.
Wow.
Certainly looked well downstairs.
That ball was almost in the dirt. That one well outside. Now a full count in what should have been a bases loaded walk.
Still nobody out here for Porcelato, who sits on a full count, Alec, and kind of have to change your mindset here.
Yep.
Get rid of that last pitch.
Payoff pitch on the way. Nobody out. Here it comes. That's a big pitch for Procopio, who gets a little bit of help from the home plate umpire, and he strikes out Porcelato, 1 down.
Number 6, Tyler Dupuis.
Well, you still have 2 base runners on here. Only the first out of the inning for the Jackfish, as now he's over 100 pitches in the ballgame. As Tyler Dupuis comes to the plate, he'll have Hunt on deck for the Jackfish here, the 8 and 9 hitter, in the order, before turning it back to the top of the order of Hogan Brown.
Dupuis swings at the first pitch, maybe playable, and that ball is gonna get not out of play, but right up against that fence, and Castaldo unable to track it down. 0-1 to Dupuis. Big spot here for the bottom 2 of the lineup. Dupuis and Hunt. 1 away, 2 on. As the Jackfish pressing here. Looking for that one big hit.
Timely hit indeed, and that's what the Jackfish need from the bottom of the order here of Dupuis and Hunt. move the base runners over and cash them in.
Procorpio comes set. 0-1. Up and in on Dupuis. And that's the third time this game Dupuis been pitched up and in. He had one at his head earlier on in his first at-bat. Then he was plunked in his second at-bat. Now another one coming up and in to Tyler Dupuis.
Well, the roar of the crowd here just gets louder and louder with each miss from the right-hander on the hill for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Trying to get anything going here and boost up the confidence of number 6, TD6. Try to just get behind him as the Jackfish crowd. Every miss that pitcher makes, it's getting louder and louder to support him.
He breaks off a nice breaking ball after that wild fastball up and in. And he's ahead 1-2. Dupuis chops one foul as he stays alive. Jackfish trying to tie this game at 5. They trail by 1 as we sit bottom of 5. Couple of walks as we get the Tyler Dupuis chant started here at the pond. 1-2 the count. Here it comes. In tight, 2-2.
Good fastball there by Procopio to change things up. As normally, when he pitches inside, it's been up at Tyler Dupuis, high in the zone. This one fools Dupuis, and he's able to hold off and take that pitch inside. Good read by Tyler Dupuis.
2-2 is up and in at his head again.
Got to battle through this now in a full count. Such an important pitch here on the payoff pitch coming up. 1-out situation, a full count with a chance to load the bases here for Tyler Dupuis. Procopio in a really tough spot for the Maple Leafs.
This pitch changes the complexion of this inning big time. Bases loaded or 2 outs. What'll it be? 2 outs. Swing and a miss, back-to-back strikeouts for Procopio. And once again, the Jackfish just can't hit with runners on base.
Well, they'll have to turn to Ethan Hunt now, who comes in.
Third baseman,
a chance
number
with 2
9,
runners on
Ethan
once again. And Ethan Hunt, in this postseason, has driven in 3 runs, has 7 hits, and he scored 5 runs of his own. Batting .250 for the Jackfish, and now changes it up today at the bottom of the order. Has a chance to keep this inning alive for the Jackfish and turn it back over to the top of the order for Hogan Brown. And chance even right here, a single could tie the ball game.
Mr. Mission Impossible himself, see if he can come through with a big knock. Big cut and a miss. Hung on to by Mara, 0-1. Slight shift on the infield as second baseman Mara over to his right just a little bit. Procopio deals. Hunt sends it sky high. Into foul territory. Salazzo giving chase. That one's up into the seats. 0-2. And it's like that mound visit. Flip the switch for Procopio here.
Fan from Humberstone gathered up that ball.
I think Salazzo thought he had a good chance at that baseball, and so did I when it was hit pretty much straight up, but the ball just kept drifting and drifting. And finally, and luckily for the Jackfish, went into foul territory, into the seats. Row 2 here at the stadium.
0-2 the count to Ethan Hunt. Welland's got to make him pay for some of these walks at some point here. Here it comes. Hunt! That ball's going to get to the left center field gap. There it is. Martinez chugging around third. Getting the wave around. Coming in to score. The Jackfish take the lead. It's a 2-run double for Ethan Hunt. And that gets the fans on their feet. What a job in a 2-strike count. And all he does is send it to the gap.
Well, you said it best. You have to make him pay for these base-on balls. Somehow you have to make them pay. And Ethan Hunt does exactly that. It's just a hit into the gap. That'll be a double and it'll cash in 2 more RBIs for number 9, Ethan Hunt. Hunt came into the ball game. I mentioned only 3 RBIs in the postseason. Well, now he's got 5. It's
Maybe
a
2 big ones.
Huge at bat. And the Jackfish once again regain the lead. Huge at bat for the bottom of the order man of Ethan Hunt, who makes his first trip to the number 9 spot in the order in this postseason and the regular season. What a call by Esri to make the change. And now you bring up Hogan Brown with Ethan Hunt in scoring position.
Well, and again, you look at the way the lineup's sent tonight. Ethan Hunt almost acting as a second leadoff man, Spence. And you'll see when pitchers used to hit, they used to put a second type of leadoff guy in that 9-hole. That's what Ethan Hunt is, because he's not a 9-hole hitter, but he's a second leadoff man for this Jackfish team. And again, comes up in a massive spot, and he delivers on a 1-2 pitch that just stayed too much over the middle of the plate. And he's able to drive in a couple, good speed with Feuerstakes, able to score all the way from first. And he makes those 2 walks pay with 2 outs. What a big hit for Mr. Hunt and the Welland Jackfish, who now have a 6-5 lead after being down 5-1.
Well, as I thought they were going to bring in Adam Mars, they had him warming up. They go to the other lefty they have in the rotation of Dustin Richardson.
Closer.
And Richardson, he pitched 2 1/3 innings back in game 1 of this series and has not been on the bump since for the Toronto Maple Leafs. He acted as like that player coach back in game 3 here at the Pond. That game on Sunday afternoon where it was all Jackfish in a 15-3 shellacking of the Maple Leafs when they had tough times with their bullpen. So now he'll come in for his second time in this series as Dustin Richardson comes in a tough spot. He has the top of the order man, Hogan Brown, to lead things off for the Jackfish. His first batter he'll face, and he's got a runner right behind him, 180 feet away from making it a 2-run lead.
Well, and Spence, this is maybe a spot we usually see Sam Green slide into in the playoffs. But now, without the availability of him, they got to go to their closer, Richardson, in the 5th inning. So we'll see what kind of impact that plays on the game. How long can he go, right? Maple Leafs in a tough spot here, and they got to hold the Jackfish. As their best reliever is now in the game.
We're speaking with you actually before the game, and you look at all the pitchers in both these sides. Every pitcher has been in for at least 1 inning of work.
Well,
sorry,
Toronto
1
had
out
that,
at least.
Toronto had that bullpen game in game
Correct.
3, so they went through about 8 guys in that game.
But that's what happens when you compact so many games together. Everybody's got to be at their best, and every pitcher has seen work for both these teams.
So now this is when your pitching depth comes to fruition. And look at Barra. Still hobbling on that leg and not able to get to that ball. But again, this is where your pitching depth comes, right? This is a big part of the game now. The Leafs, their starters out of the game. You know Alvarado isn't available tonight for them. And now they got Richardson into the game. So there's 2-3 of their best pitchers unavailable now.
Well, you have a 1-2 count as he gifts them a pitch and gifts them a free base there with that wild pitch from the lefty in just his 3rd offering. So now Hogan Brown has to settle in here to face Richardson.
In a 1-2 count, Hoagie. 2 for 3, couple of runs scored. And he's going to send that one on the ground to second. Mara. He's got it. Richardson comes in and is able to clean up. Not before Mr. Mission Impossible Ethan Hunt comes through with a 2-strike double to score a pair. Jackfish take a 6-5 lead. What a game we got in our hands. Game 5 of the Domenico Cup semifinal. Jackfish lead the Leafs.
I got locked up, but I'm the green. I never need to off, I like the chip, so I drive up
Fans, how about it? The IBL's fastest ground screw. Don't forget to visit the fish online at wellandjackfish.com. There you'll find season updates, promotional schedules, videos, and so much more. wellandjackfish.com. Don't forget to follow us on social media at Welland Jackfish. Want your company involved with the show here at the pond? Many good partnership opportunities available for the 2024 season. Visit the fan services at the front gate or wellandjackfish.com for more information.
Like Hirosabe, of course it's me, better known as the Mascot. A fighting squad, sense the danger, when it's done by the rapping ranger. Had a little tough.
It's Friday.
Leading off the 6th inning for the Maple Leafs. Left fielder, Jesse Hodges.
Back inside the ballpark, Alec Murray alongside Spencer Tangway. Back half of this one, Spence, top of the 6th. And the Jackfish have reclaimed their first lead since the bottom half of the 1st. Didn't even have your mic on.
It's always a little mistake. You gotta hit the thing that turns the mic on.
Center fielder Connor.
Why am I not hearing you?
Luca turns to me as if, hang on, I thought I had everything on. Yeah, you did. It's my mistake, Luca. Don't worry. Everything is all good from producer Luca over there. Just a little human error, as I was saying, into a mic that wasn't on. Second time in a row, back-to-back years, excuse me, these two teams meet in the semifinals. It went 4 games last year when it was the Maple Leafs, and now the Jackfish here in Game 5, the first ever Game 5 for the Fish in franchise history.
I was actually just sick of listening to you, Spence, so I turned your mic off, see if you would notice.
That's okay. Every now and again, just let me go, see how long it'll take.
As that one's fouled off. 1-1. Big key here now. We were talking in between innings. Bradwell needs to have a clean inning here for the Jackfish. We saw Welland score in the bottom of the 1st, and then Hartford proceeded to give up 5 runs in the top half of that inning. Now, Welland came back in that bottom half and scored 3. But again, you'd like to see a clean inning, a nice clean inning from Bradwell here after the Jackfish took a 1-run lead.
Well, that's exactly what you'd like when you're facing the number 6 hitter in the order, of course.
6, 7, 8.
When you face the bottom of the order, you have to be able to gain a little bit of confidence and really come right at him like you see he does at Lewis there with that nice fastball right down the middle. And if you can get ahead of the bottom of the order here and give your bats another chance to get right back up after a tremendous inning where you score 2, this Jackfish offense can strike when they are hot.
2-2. Went back to that slider and just couldn't get the bite on it, and it stays outside. 3-2 full count. I like that last pitch, not that slider, but the pitch before that. It's like, here it is, hit it, right? It's kind of a dare, and he wants to challenge him, and that's exactly what you got to do. Comes right back with the heat. Swing and a miss from Lewis, or from Hodges. 1 away as Lewis steps into the batter's box.
As 2 away, you had it right the first time. As Hodges grounded out to the third baseman, and that was Lewis who struck out.
Yeah, stay up, Alan.
You bring up Dan Mara.
There we go.
You're good. Don't worry.
I was too focused
You're
on your
okay,
microphone
and that's
there.
exactly what you want to do. Throw strikes. Come right at them. Make them make solid contact here. You got nobody on. As it's a great relief performance from the right-hander so far of James Bradwell.
Pretty much a start.
As Martinez there just trying to get something off his hand, and
as Mara chops that one foul. 1-1 the count.
as Jason McKay behind us, I never even thought of that, but that is actually a great idea. When you think about that, is me not being the baseball guy, you're right. Get something on your fingertips there so we could see the signs better as he gets the chalk from the first base line on the ends of the fingertips.
You see a lot of catchers nowadays paint those fingers
Yes,
so that they can.
That
but
I do, for sure.
But again, you get runners in scoring position on the opposition team. It's a lot easier for them to take up on signs, as that one is hard hit up the middle. Smybert bobbles it. And able to reach first safely is Mara. James Smybert with another error over at shortstop.
Yeah, and he's 6 against James Smybert there, as he just couldn't pick up that baseball and get it over in time.
And now this is the guy you got to retire here. 2 away, a runner at first. You got the 9-hole hitter up. You don't want to see Jose Vinicio in this inning.
No, definitely not. Ground ball should do it here.
Hopefully.
For the Jackfish. And
ground ball through the left side won't do it, as that's a base hit for DeSantos, and they're going to do exactly what we said we didn't want to see, as Jose Vinicio will step up with 2 runners on.
And goes right at him at the first pitch. We saw that a lot in yesterday's game. The Maple Leafs were taking that swing, and they were hitting successfully. More often than not, the first pitch they saw, they were going right after from Abram yesterday. And now they'll have a quick mound visit as Bradwell will get the infield together with Brian Essery on the hill.
So we talk about the Maple Leafs bringing in their closer in the 5th. Davey Mendez is starting to stretch in the bullpen for the Jackfish, a guy who hasn't pitched since game 1. So he's well rested. Now he did go 3 innings in that one. Gave up a run, his first run ever in 2 years of pitching for the Welland Jackfish. And it'll be interesting to see how quickly Brian Essery decides to go to his electric closer. Because again, in playoffs, in game situations, elimination games like this, it doesn't really matter your role.
While 2 outs here, you have to get through this out first, but you're right. Anything can happen, and that's why you saw Owen Boone throw 300 pitches.
That's just
an absurd number.
That shouldn't even be legal.
If you're following the IBL, and that series, of course, the majors falling. But Owen Boone, their ace, throwing 300 pitches as there's a hit to left.
Right at the left fielder, Brown, inning over. Bradwell in and out of trouble. To the bottom half we go. Jackfish still lead 6-5 here in Game 5.
2024 season memberships are on sale now. Visit
When the unexpected happens, who can you call to guide you from crisis to calm? The trusted experts at ServiceMaster Restore are ready when you need us. We'll be there for you every step of the way. ServiceMaster Restore. We restore your home and your peace of mind. When the unexpected happens, who can you call to guide you from crisis to calm? The trusted experts at ServiceMaster Restore are ready when you need us. We'll be there for you every step of the way. ServiceMaster Restore. We restore your home and your peace of mind.
Leading off the 6th inning for Welland, center fielder number 11, Gio Morello.
Gio Morello in to lead things off here in the bottom half of inning number 6. as Bradwell has come in and thrown 4 scoreless for the Jackfish as their offense has been able to claw back into this one. Big star right now on the Ethan Hunt 2-run double to the left center field gap. And now let's see if the Jackfish can get a little bit of padding here for Bradwell as the first pitch is there for strike 1. And Richardson back out there for the Maple Leafs.
You start off the inning with a lefty-on-lefty matchup with Richardson against Morello as Rod Mahood, the PA announcer, rolled his art a little bit longer on the introduction for Morello here as you try to get something going. I couldn't do it if I tried. As he really rolled the R here for the leadoff man as the Jackfish scored 2 last inning, trying to add on here to extend the lead.
Up in tight as that fastball stayed in. 1-2 the count. Richardson has that really good slider. He breaks off lefty-lefty, of course, too. It just cuts out from the batter. So much late break on it, too. It's hard pitch to lay off of. 1-2. Probably go back to it here. He does, and Morello does a good job to lay off it. Again, it's not an effective pitch if you don't swing at it because it's almost always out of the zone. But again, it's being able to lay off of that pitch.
He's got to start it where he wants, and that one again missed just like he did in the last half inning where he threw a wild pitch away.
Morello's got a sac bunt. As he takes low for ball 3.
Richardson can't believe he didn't get that call as he's still having a word with the home plate umpire. The Jackfish a couple of games ago at home had a couple of issues with the umpires. Now it's the other way around.
I can't believe he didn't get that call either.
As he steps off, and I agree with you.
Oh my, that was a beautiful pitch.
Umpires, by the way, tonight, I don't know if we ever mentioned them. We want to give them a shout out. The home plate umpire is Jeff Froese. Adam DeCare is at first, Ben Mercier second, with Chris Walters at third. The 4-man crew tonight for Game 5.
Doesn't really matter. He comes back and strikes him out anyways. Yeah, and Rosie's been pretty consistent behind the plate tonight.
A staple in the IBL, but boy, he gets around. But it seems he has been here in Welland a lot as Jeff Rose does tremendous work for the IBL. Long-time umpire.
All right. So Steven Moretto now in as he takes strike 1. And Moretto now having words about that pitch. 0-1 the count. 1 away here. That one finds the strike zone. 0-2.
Goes from the inside to the outside part of the zone, and quickly, again, he's ahead in the count. 0-2, back-to-back batters. Had Morello 0-2, and now Moretto 0-2.
For Welland, the thing is, you just want to get Richardson's pitch count up there. You probably don't want to see him in the game very long, but again, the quicker he rolls through innings, the more you're going to see him.
You saw him go 2 1/3 in Game 1. Nobody warming up in the pen for Toronto. And they only had a lefty up, and the other lefty they had up was Mara. He has not been up since that second inning.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts for Richardson here in the 6th.
And now you bring up James Smybert, the shortstop. Made that error in the field in the defensive side for the Jackfish. Has a chance now to get a hit in the ball game. He's reached base once tonight in the ball game. Struck out and flew out to the left fielder, Jesse Hodges. 4th times to the batter's box for James Smybert, the lefty.
As that one to the backstop. J-Mac was just telling me, Spence, Richardson came in 2021 into a game in the finals and went 8 innings.
Hey, whatever you can do.
He only threw 1 inning max that whole season in every game. There we go. I'm getting the information here and I'm passing it along. So again, if we're wondering how long he's going to go, he's not going to go 8. Well, who knows?
You saw 140 last night, and as long as you need is correct. It's the Owen Boone effect of the IBL. Why not go for 301?
That whole story's still crazy as that one's popped up. Salazzo has got it. A clean inning for the lefty Richardson. As Richardson comes and has a conversation with home plate umpire Jeff Rose right off the mound.
It's time for the CA
I'm not sure what that's all about.
For a chance to win a gift card from CA Niagara. And
The
CA
top of
Niagara
the 7th
Rewards
we go.
Partners.
Jackfish lead
Ryan,
6-5.
who's with you? Who is going to win tonight?
All right, we got Corey and Danielle versus Jana and Dan for the CA Niagara Stack and Dash. Here's how this works. When I say go, run down, grab a donut, bring it back, stack it on your partner. Once all four stack, take off, and dash back to Jacques. First thing to do so wins $25 to Buckner Source for Sports. Fans, last time tonight, I need to hear you. Make some noise for our contestants. I said make some noise for our contestants. On your mark, get set, go, go, go. Here we go, they're off.
Shake your body, baby, do that conga. No, you can't control yourself any longer. Come on, shake your body, baby, do that conga. No, you can't control yourself any longer.
All right, first one down. There we go. Keep making some noise here. All right. Oh, yes, we don't.
Come on, shake your body, baby, do that conga. No, you can't control yourself any longer.
I think it's unfair.
You're getting stronger. Don't your body, do that conga beat.
Hey, guys. No. And the dash. All right, congratulations. You walk home with $20 for Organization Sports fans. Make some noise for our contestants.
Fans, don't forget, Welland Stadium stops serving alcohol at the end of the 7th inning. Visit the bait shop now and enjoy ice-cold Tall Boy of Pond Water Lager by Newark Brewing. Please respect the rules and help us maintain a positive atmosphere for each and every one of our Welland Jackfish fanatics.
A duck walked up to a lemonade stand and he said to the man running the stand, "Hey, bump, 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 got any drinks?" The man said, "No, we just sell lemonade, but it's cold and it's fresh."
Leading off the 7th inning.
Can I get you a glass?
Inning number
Toronto
7
pitcher Justin Morrow.
on the horizon here in Welland. Alec Murray alongside Spencer Tanguay, Game 5 of the Dominico Cup semifinal. Winner to face the Barrie Baycats, who swept the Kitchener Panthers in an impressive series. You look at the 3-0 sweep from Barrie and you think, oh wow, but that series was a lot closer than people might think. Kitchener gave Barrie quite the battle in that 2-3 matchup. But it was Barrie who was able to come out on top every game and sweep away the Panthers.
Mara really discomfort here with that foot as he couldn't put any pressure on it again. And you just see him try to just plant that foot. Really in pain. Just a true battle here for Mara and the Maple Leafs. Good on him for staying in as long, and that just shows the dedication.
The heart. And I don't know why Bradwell's not just coming right at him. He can't plant that back foot. He's got no leverage here, really. He's swinging off his front foot. And Bradwell's gone 3-1 to him. And he walks him. So a leadoff walk.
Well, and they have to keep him in. The only other catcher I know they have, Ryan Burnside, who
First
also
baseman
comes out
Jordan
in relief
Cristaldo.
sometimes. But they'll keep him in, and a tremendous effort by Mara to be able to stay in the ball game. As now Brian Esery will come out. You talked about the Barrie Kitchener series, the grand slam in the second inning, I believe. That was in Kitchener in Game 3 for the Baycats. They took a 5-0 early lead. And Mark Perr and the Kitchener broadcast crew called that game, and I believe it was Mark and Neil calling the ball game, and that pretty much was the TSN turning point for the Panthers. They kept it close. They had a lot of good highlights of that series. They just couldn't get through the aces for the Barrie Baycats. And Frank Garces, a guy that the Welland Jackfish will be very familiar with. Another good performance for him in that series and the postseason. But that 1-0 lead for the Barrie Big-Cats quickly turned 5-0, and that was early in Game 3. Just took all the wind out of the sails for the Panthers.
Panthers were able to battle back in that one. At one point, it was a 6-4 ball game, but that offense for Barrie, one of the most impressive ones in the league, just too much for that Panthers pitching staff to take care of. And Barrie able to come up on top. So they await, and we know they're probably watching this one to see as that first pitch is up in ball 1.
Yeah, some big names in that offense of Ryan Rio, Adam Odd, just to name a few for the Big-Cats as they moved on, like you said, and are in the wings waiting for the winner of this one.
Ryan Rio hit a couple of long ones. Tailor-made double play. 4, 6, 3, call it 2, a double play. Massive ground ball for Bradwell to get 2 away.
Just a nice double play, the 4 to the 6 to the 3 double play, and it's exactly what you need, a ground ball. Ground ball does the trick for the Jackfish, as Bradwell, who struggled to find the zone, able to get a ground ball, and he gets it right to Tyler Dupuis on a line. Didn't think Tyler Dupuis actually had to move an inch, went right to him for that 4-6-3 double play for 2 outs.
Yeah, nice turn by Smybert. Accurate throw onto first base in time. And a good job by Dupuis to recognize, too, the slow, the injured Mara at first base. He knew he had lots of time. But again, you saw Mara slide right into second base. Again, just a gamer that Justin Mara is.
No question there, goes around and tried to peel that bat back, but couldn't.
Takamatsu's in tough against Bradwell. A couple of strikeouts in his last 2 at-bats. Beautiful pitch by Bradwell, and if you're Takamatsu, you know what he's coming back with. It's going to be that slider. He's got him on it both times.
Well, and he got him with a nice off-speed pitch now, and he's ahead in the count, 1-2. Quickly could get out of the inning here.
Here it comes. And he just didn't get enough bite on that one, as Takamatsu's able to get the bat head out and foul it off. Count stays 1-2.
Takamatsu, 10 hits in the postseason, 2 of them being doubles, and a homer for 3 extra base hits in this 2023 postseason. Big at-bat for him here.
Cut out and missed. Bradwell has number 11. Strikeout number 3 for Takamatsu on the evening. To the bottom of the 7th. Take a bow. James Bradwell, what a job he's done as the Jackfish lead 6-5. Time to stretch it here in the Rose City.
Thank you, Rod. Well, tonight, fans, it's your opportunity to show Brian Essery and his Jackfish why you are the best fans in the IBL. So everybody up, let's get ready to stretch those legs, those arms, and those lungs. A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back. And it's root for the Jackfish. If they lose, it's a shame, 'cause it's at the old ball game. All right, a job well done.
Fans, the one and only, just say OV, Welland's own, Harry Carey. Leading off the 7th inning for the Jackfish, Catcher number 33, Carlos Martinez.
Bottom half of the 7th inning here in Welland. Jackfish looking for a little bit of insurance against Richardson, who pumps in strike one to Carlos Martinez. Is your mic on?
It is on, thank you very much, as the 7th inning stretch, a classic here in Welland with our very own Tom Pallone, or Harry Carey as they call him in the ballpark, a staple here in the Niagara region. Tom Pallone, a voice of so many former teams, the Thorold Junior B Blackhawks. He also called the Welland Junior B hockey games, Port Colborne. He's done it all, Tom Pallone, and now they settle in here as we've passed the 7th inning stretch in Game 5.
Nice take there from Martinez, 2-1. J-Mac just told me it's a good time for him to go yard for his first home run as a Jackfish.
It would be long overdue.
Long overdue.
As this would not only be the best time, it would lift the roof right off this place and send it into outer space. 2-1 the count to Martinez, the righty, who was just looking to break out of that little spell he's been in. Hasn't been able to really find any momentum at the dish. He's moved around in the order. Brian Essery, you have to keep him in as that go-to catcher right now. You need that bat in the lineup, just waiting for a big, timely explosion from 33 in white.
2-2. Punches him out, strike three. And Carlos Martinez not happy with the home plate umpire, Jeff Rose. As Martinez, a slow walk back to the dugout. But again, a nice pitch there by Richardson, just able to break it over that outside part of the plate at the knees. And if it's close, you got to swing. He gets rung up. And Richardson, we talk about the job Bradwell's done. What about Richardson coming in and settling things down here for the Maple Leafs?
Well, he gets the leadoff man of Martinez to strike out for his 7th time in the postseason. The Jackfish have struck out 47 times coming into the ball game here in the postseason, and that is the team leading 7th for Martinez.
Furistake puts a bunt down. It hits him. And he's called out.
The fans getting a little confused there. Thought he was hit by the pitch, or they called foul, but he's saying it hit him. And Jeff Rose immediately signaling that he is out. And now Brian Essery coming to contest.
Essery in a heated conversation with the home plate umpire, Jeff Rose.
So quickly 2 away, Alec, and I think the big thing there is right away Jeff Rose made that signal as if he got hit. I couldn't see the baseball, and I don't think anyone could other than Jeff Rose right there, and maybe Richardson, as the baseball went right in front of where he wanted to run down the first base line. Regardless, it says it hits him, and there's quickly 2 gone.
What I'm wondering too, Spence, we can't really see from up here, but if that ball bounces in foul territory before it hits Caleb Furistake. Nonetheless, he's ruled out. Fans were on their feet cheering. They thought he was getting first base. Not so fast, as showing bunt now is Mateo Porcelato.
The Rose City faithful will do anything for this team, and you witnessed it right there.
How do I even record that out?
Change the call, whatever they can. Just kind of like a hockey goal scorer. If you don't know it's in, just throw your arms up and celebrate. Scream like you got it.
1-1 on the way. Porcelato lays a bunt down straight back to Richardson. Richardson almost fires it over the head of Castaldo. And a quick inning as the Jackfish go away quietly. And look who's coming on. To the field we go. Cue the trumpet, Spence. Here comes the closer, Davey Mendez. To the field we go.
Number 41, Davey Mendez.
Leading off the 8th inning for Toronto, third baseman John Salazzo.
All right. Here we go, top of the 8th, and Davy Mendez takes over. His first appearance since game 1 of this series. Cut on and missed by Salazzo. You'll see him, Hodges, and Lewis in this inning, trying to get a 2-inning save for Davy Mendez.
Well, I really like the call by Ezri here to bring him in 1 inning early than you might think. This is the best on best now. You bring in your ace, as you will, of Mendez, as you get him ahead in the count, 0-2 to Jonathan Salazzo.
And again, a 1-run lead. You give the ball to your best reliever, the best reliever in the IBL. 0-2 in tight. 1-2 as Salazzo lays off.
Good eye by Salazzo there, as that one just did not start where Davy Mendez wanted it. It bent, broke in too much inside, and that one well inside at his feet to bring the count to 1-2. See if he comes right back at him with the heater.
1-2. Mendez rocks into his delivery. That one's off the hands of Salazzo. Hunt's got it, 1 away.
And that's a lot better communication from the infielders. We saw that mistake between Dupuis and the right fielder tonight for the Fish. You make those mistakes, you bounce back. Ethan Hunt comes in, calls off the pitcher of Mendez right away. He's got that baseball, and there's out number 1.
So Jesse Hodges now, his turn against the flamethrower Mendez, who's in the dirt, 1-0.
And Hodges has had himself a game, got the big defensive assist that took away that double when we tried to stretch it into a triple. And now we'll have to face Mendez, like you said, and see if his bat can come alive for the Leafs.
Cut on and missed behind that fastball, 1-1. Mendez, you know what you're getting. High-end velocity in the 90s, and he's got a disgusting breaking pitch that he's going to break away from you or into you, righty or lefty. And again, if he's using it all right to his repertoire, it's a tough pitcher to hit as it's fouled off. And look for that breaking pitch now here after 2 straight fastballs.
Hodges making solid contact, just late though, and that one off the end of the barrel and into foul territory, into the parking lot. 1-2 now, and the crowd just getting ever so loud. Every pitch, every strike.
Fan favorite here in Welland.
Just more and more behind Mendez as he inches closer, strike by strike.
A 6-5 lead. Toronto 5 runs on 6 hits and an error. Welland 6 runs on 4 hits and an error. Mendez 1-2, chop foul as Hodges gets a piece to stay alive.
Hodges once again just getting enough of that one off the end of the barrel, ticking that ball foul. The once Double-A player for the Chicago Cubs organization staying alive here with 1 out. Nobody aboard for the Maple Leafs in a 6-5 Jackfish lead. All the action for the Maple Leafs, 5 runs in that 2nd inning. And the Jackfish added 2 more on to come back here in the 5th.
Hodges pops that one up on the infield. Hunt calling for it, settles under it, 2 away.
Center fielder,
So a couple
Connor
F5
Lewis.
putouts here for Davy Mendez, and quickly 2 away here in the 8th.
And that's why you bring him in. You bring in a guy that has had success in huge moments for the Jackfish. Unanimously voted as one of the best here in the IBL, the best closer for the IBL 2023 season, and it is the right-handed flamethrowing of Davy Mendez.
Battle of the relief pitchers, or battle of the closers, we should say. Richardson doing his part for the Maple Leafs. Mendez seeing if he can do his part. This would be maybe his biggest save
Please report to the Crime
of his
Stoppers
Welland
of the Niagara
Jackfish career.
table.
Now Martinez will go to the mound. Didn't like something there. 0-1 the count. This is a big at-bat for Davy to get. If you get Lewis here, you get 8-9-1 to start the 9th. So the bottom of the order, and Jose Vericho.
And you don't see that every day, Alec. The actual bat boy for the Welland Jackfish was just called to the concourse level. He must have won something.
The 50-50.
Crowd erupting for him as he celebrates with the players. Great to see the players on that give him a high five as Mendez doesn't get the call on the outside corner. But just a little feel-good moment to that game as you put it into perspective what it means for the bat boy to get nice little high fives from all the players in the dugout.
Love that. That one chopped foul as Lewis going after that high fastball.
Look out in the dugout.
Yeah,
a couple of players trying to jump out of the way of that liner right at him in the dugout for the Jackfish.
Mendez a strike away from sending us to the bottom half of the 8th. Rocking into his windup. Here it comes. Cut on and missed. Fist pump for Davey as he's off the mound. 3 up, 3 down, 3 to go to the bottom half of inning 8. Jackfish lead 6-5 in Game 5 of this semifinal.
Ticket stubs. Winning number tonight.
When the unexpected happens, who can you call to guide you from crisis to calm? The trusted experts at Service Master Restore are ready when you need us. We'll be there for you every step of the way. Service Master Restore. We restore your home and your peace of mind. When the unexpected happens, who can you call to guide you from crisis to calm? The trusted experts at Service Master Restore are ready when you need us. We'll be there for you every step of the way. Service Master Restore. We restore your home and your peace of mind.
Leading off the 8th inning for the Jackfish, second baseman, number 6, Tyler Dupuis.
Bottom of the 8th, last call for the Jackfish to try and tack on here before the top half of the 9th inning. Maple Leafs will send Dan Mara, De Santos, and Vinicio to the plate in the 9th against Davey Mendez, who had a pretty quick top half of inning number 8. And this game, Spence, for as sloppy as it started, back and forth, errors we saw, misplays, and Dupuis slashes one into right field, leadoff base hit for TD6. And that's a big one there for the Jackfish. But how much has this game tightened up? Inning after inning, we've gone on, both teams locking down, making big pitches when they need to, getting outs when they need to, and getting hits when they need to.
Well, it just shows you to the depth of this lineup when they just settle in and play baseball. Yesterday, the Toronto Maple Leafs had that 4-0 lead. They made it 4-1, then 4-3, and the TSN turning point was the Toronto Maple Leafs offense coming right back at them with 3 runs of their own to just cancel out the push the Jackfish made tonight. They just play their own game. They just simply have to keep going. You can't take your foot off the gas like they did in Toronto last night. The Maple Leafs had a 5-1 lead in this ball game, but the pesky Jackfish, never say never Jackfish, find a way with the bats, and they come hot at a good time.
Hunt trying to lay down a bunt here. That ball back into the seats. 1-1 the count to Ethan Hunt, who right now has the biggest hit of his IBL career. That gap shot he sent to left center, and I'm sure when we talk to him after, he'll say the same thing. Jackfish were trailing. It was a 1-2 count on Hunt, who promptly sent one to the left center field gap to score 2. Runs 5 and 6 for Welland, who lead 6-5 here in the 8th. As that one is across the plate for strike 2, 1-2. Looks like this is Richardson's game for as long as it goes. Nobody warming in the Maple Leaf bullpen.
Well, if you followed this series and you follow the Jackfish all year, you'll notice this is Ethan Hunt at the dish and the 9 spot in the order tonight. A different look lineup for Brian Esery. And this is a good chance to see what he can do here and turn it back to Hogan Brown. He's got a runner aboard for Ethan Hunt as he fouls it away.
He was right on that pitch. Hunt just missing that one, staying alive. 1-2 to Ethan Hunt. Top of the lineup, 2. Brown, Morello, and Moretto, the big guys coming up. And see if Ethan Hunt can get on base here and make it a little bit harder on Richardson, who hasn't really faced any adversity so far in this game. Here comes the 1-2, cut on and missed. Fouled, actually, and caught by Mara. Nice job, and one away on the strikeout.
I think a big difference from yesterday. You were talking about how this game has kind of settled in, and the Jackfish and the Toronto Maple Leafs offense have really settled down from that second inning. A big thing for the Fish, you notice, is not too many ground balls tonight at Jose Vinicio and the shortstop. A completely different look than what you saw yesterday, where everything was gobbled up by the shortstop and the middle infielders for the Maple Leafs. Today, the Jackfish hitting around the infield and getting them out into the field. A lot more confidence from the Jackfish bats tonight.
First pitch down in the dirt. 1-0 to Hogan Brown, who's grounded to second a couple of times, and he's got a couple of base hits, a couple of runs scored back in innings 1 and 2.
Almost a must-score situation here for the Jackfish.
You'd
you
love
have that 6-5 lead. You need insurance. You know, they sell it for a reason. You need it here big time if you're the home side with a 1-run lead in a Game 5 with a runner aboard, only 1 out. Have to find a way to cash him in.
Richardson gets a call on the outside part of the plate. Brown does not like that call whatsoever. 1-1. But again, Jeff Rose has been calling that pitch on that outside part of the plate all night long. 1-1. Fouled off, 1-2.
You talked about Jeff Rose and you talked about Dustin Richardson. They came together at the end of the last inning when Richardson was coming off the mound. Quick little word in with Jeff Rose, just trying to settle him down as Richardson was heated with the home plate umpire. He didn't get a couple of calls. And now Hogan Brown didn't like that last call as Richardson has settled in from his last half inning of work.
We never asked for perfection, we asked for consistency. And Jeff Rose has been pretty good behind home plate here tonight. 1-2 to Hoagie. Spoils another one.
Good at bat, Hogan Brown. He's just pitch by pitch, getting at the lefty Richardson as he's throwing everything he has at Hogan Brown, this lefty on lefty matchup. Brown staying with every pitch here in a 1-2 count. Here's pitch number 6 coming.
Righty-righty you hit all the time, but lefty-lefty for some reason is just such a much harder matchup. Here it comes. Check swing. He holds up in tight. 2-2. That's a nice take from Hogan Brown. And that's why Richardson, sorry Spence, that's why Richardson's so effective. You see him come inside like that, but then again, he breaks off that kind of slider curveball that he has away from the hitters.
I was going to say, he hasn't tested him inside lately as the last 3 or 4 pitches going outside as he steps off to go back to first, and he'll gather his thoughts, step back on the rubber. But that last pitch, Hoagie, you could tell, wanted it inside, but just too inside for his liking. If he could get it inside and really turn that barrel over and send it to right field.
Outside, and there he goes back to that pitch where he usually gets a chase on. Good at bat here from Hoagie, 3-2 full count. And I was going to mention too, the Jackfish haven't been as aggressive as we're used to seeing on the base paths tonight.
No,
usually you would have seen Tyler Dupuis take off second or third pitch.
More conservative approach here now in a 6-5 game.
But again, that's a massive run over there at first base for Welland. Takes outside, ball 4. What a gutsy take from Hogan Brown. 2 aboard now with only 1 out, and here comes Morello.
And to be honest, that's something the Jackfish haven't been doing well all series long against the Maple Leafs. And that is just taking pitches rather than making big cuts like you're trying to send it out of the yard. And now he gets aboard rather than striking out. Hogan Brown to the top of the order. A huge at-bat for the Jackfish to bring up Gio Morello, who also in a different spot in the batting order tonight. He'll hit second, of course. Now has a huge opportunity with 1 out for the Fish and a runner in scoring position.
Do you see a bunt here? Does Gio swing? Oh, well, that answers that question. Swinging away. Big cut and a miss from Morello. 0-1. Big spot here is Dupuis in scoring position. A base hit will score him. Steven Moretto on deck, who has been relatively quiet tonight.
His numbers this postseason are absurd. Batting .500, has 10 hits, he had 20 at-bats, has 7 RBIs. He's walked 5 times, striking out 3 times. He's got a double and a triple. The only player in this Jackfish lineup to have a triple in the postseason is this man, Gio Morello. But a terrific postseason for Gio Morello in number 11.
And I talked to Gio too before the postseason started, and I said, ready to rock and roll? And he's like, guess what? New start. I don't even remember the regular season happened. He's like, we start now, and he's really flipped a page. We've seen the Gio that we've expected to see all season long. As that's a good take from Morello outside, 1-2. He's really come on here in that Brantford series and now in this Toronto series. And you know what? At the end of the day, Brian Essery really had no other option but to move him up in the lineup.
Well, a true test for him here now if he can come back from this 1-2 deficit in the count with 2 runners on.
He fights it off out of play. Jackfish putting together a couple of good at-bats here, Spence, against Richardson.
Nothing wrong with the foul ball here, and you just keep working the pitcher. As you saw what happened with Hogan Brown, able to come back from an 0-2 count to walk. And now a 1-2 with 1 out again. Base hit could score a run.
We got the Gio chance going on here. 1-2. Morello bloops one, foul. Down the third baseline. Just late on that one.
Just keep staying on it. That's a great at-bat. Back-to-back good at-bats from the leadoff man, Hogan Brown and Gio Morello. You got Hunt to strike out, but Dupuis was able to get aboard with a leadoff single. And again, just another good at-bat. Stay right on it. And he's able to do so. The lefty of Gio Morello. Second lefty on lefty in a row here.
1-2. Takes it low, 2-2. 8th pitch of this at-bat coming up. Back-to-back unreal at-bats here from the Welland Jackfish. See if Morello can put one in fair territory. Dupuis, secondary off of second base. To the plate, low, full count. And once again, an 0-2 count for Richardson has turned into a full count.
Yeah, nobody up in the pen for the Toronto Maple Leafs. They have their faith in the lefty here to be able to get it through.
This is their best guy. They're not going to go to anybody else.
A lot of teams like that lefty matchup on the hill against the Jackfish. As you see a lefty on lefty again and a 3-2 count.
Richardson to the plate, in the dirt, ball 4. Ball gets to the backstop. Dupuis going to just hold at third. Maybe in a different situation he tests it, but holding up. Bases are now loaded.
Well, the ball 4 walk moves him to third base, so the Jackfish will get the bases loaded here in the most timely opportunity.
Can we talk for a second about those 2 at-bats? Back-to-back walks in counts that were 0-2. And both Hogan Brown and Gio Morello fouling ball after ball off. To stay alive, not chasing outside, right? And that's the big key point here against Richardson. Don't chase that outside slider. Don't chase that in-tight fastball. That's exactly what they did. And now the bases are loaded with one away. A fly ball scores Tyler Dupuis. A ground ball that's not a double play scores Tyler Dupuis. I assume we'll see the infield come in here now, and a ground ball will be coming to home plate.
Gio Morello back in game 2 had a 12-pitch at-bat where he was able to come back from an 0-2 count. Let's fast forward to game 3 for the Jackfish. You get Steven Moretto battling back from an 0-2 count in a 10-pitch at-bat, which results in a shot over the wall. A home run for the Jackfish. That got things going.
Wouldn't it be a time?
And it's a huge at-bat again for Hogan Brown and Morello.
Well, he wanted to take it over the left field that time with that swing. Comes up empty, 0-1.
He's hot.
What a time it would be.
The man at the dish, homered in 3 straight games, has a chance here with bases loaded for the Jackfish in a 1-out situation.
Yeah, good point by J-Mac, the center fielder. Lewis really shallow. Moretto, sends that one up onto the berm. 0-2, so another 0-2 count here.
Trying to play it as if he's going to get a one-hopper and throw it in to at least only give up 1 run and not allow the run from second to score. But you're right, he is well in, as is the right fielder. They are playing very shallow.
They're all shallow.
The infielders are not.
A ball over the head scores everybody. Moretto cranks one deep to right field. Drifting back, still drifting back. In front of the warning track, making the catch. DeSantos, the Jackfish, are going to get a massive insurance run as tagging from third Tyler Dupuis. And listen to this crowd.
Do your job, and that's what he does. Moretto sends one deep enough to cash in. It's a sac fly RBI. And you take a 6-5 lead to 7-5, a much better spot for the Jackfish. 2 outs now, and you have James Smybert, who also one of the hottest bats in the IBL right now. He's homered in back-to-back games.
That's a best-case scenario for Welland. Moretto sends it to right field. Stays away from the very good arm in Jesse Hodges in left. And because of that outfield depth playing so shallow, DeSantos has to drift back. So as he's making that catch, Spence, he's drifting backwards, which then, that's an easy tag and score for Tyler Dupuis. Smybert rips one on a line. Oh, what a catch. What a grab in right field. If that ball gets downer by DeSantos, the Jackfish tack on a couple of more. What a play by DeSantos.
Give credit where credit is due. That is the catch of the ball game and the steal of the ball game right there by the right fielder DeSantos. It's 7-5 Fish.
Oh,
wow, what a turning point that would have been.
What a catch. 3 outs to go in Welland. A 7-5 Fish lead. 3 outs to go to the Dominico Cup final. We'll go to a break and we'll be right back for the top of the ninth.
Going home with y'all.
Give yourself a hand. Leading off the 9th inning for the Maple Leafs.
Top of the 9th, back inside Welland Stadium. 3 outs to go for Welland to clinch a trip to the final for the first time in franchise history in Welland. 10:25 is the time, 3 hours old exactly. And it's Davy Mendez to finish it out for Welland. 8-9-1 due up as Mendez pumps in strike one.
Mendez will face Mara DeSantos and Jose Vinicio. 8-9-1 due up, as you said. This is a time as he's quickly ahead on the number 8 hitter.
Here you go, hit it, is exactly the mindset now, and a little bit looser for Davey. Now he's got a 2-run lead.
You think he'll probably come right back at him with the fastball here. You go right at him, the number 8 hitter of Mara. The fastball has been so effective tonight.
Oh, breaking ball, buckles him. Strike 3, Mendez gets him looking, one away.
Wow. You go at him with 2 heaters and really had no chance on either one of them. And then you throw a nasty breaking ball like that one. Oh my, Davy Mendez showing off here to get the first out against Mara. Now he'll face the number 9 spot of DeSantos.
To go 90-90 and then break off a 70-mile-an-hour breaking ball. And DeSantos, you can feel the breeze back here. Swing and a miss, 0-1.
What timing for that breeze as you said that. As boy, the wind all of a sudden picked up. First time tonight the wind picks up.
Mendez working quickly in tight, 1-1. Jose Vinicio on deck. One away, top of the ninth, 7-5 Fish lead.
Special moment for the fans here as you hear him get into it ever so close. Just need Mendez to keep her on the rails.
Just over, cut on and missed, 1-2, just over 1,100 fans here tonight, Spence, but it feels like this building is full.
Absolutely, for a quick turnaround, the fans and fanatics come out to support, and they want to see this man.
Mendez 1-2, that ball ripped on a line to right field, right there to haul it in, Furistake, 2 away in the ninth.
And that's the fear you have with Mendez, is if you can hit that hard fastball right down the middle, it could go the distance with one swing of the bat. That one, though, on a line right to the right fielder, of Furistake. And now there's 2 gone.
Fans on their feet here at the pond, just over 1,100 of them. Jose Vinicio, the Davy Mendez chants echoing through the pond. Jackfish 1 out away. Strike 1 on the outside corner with the fastball. 1 out away from sending us to our first ever final. And the fans here can feel it in the building. 0-1, breaking ball and a beauty. Inside part of the plate. You can hear them. Listen to these fans. 0-2 the count to Vinicio. Mendez is going to step off for a second and go through his signs. Deep breath on the bump. Mendez 0-2. Cut on and miss. Strike 3. Davy Mendez locks down the 2-inning save. And for the first time in franchise history, your Welland Jackfish are going to the Dominico Cup final. Who they will meet, the Barrie Bay Cats.
The crowd itself says it all. What a scrappy performance by these Welland Jackfish. Again, they find themselves in a hole, 5-1 early in the ball game. You easily could chalk it up as this one is over, but no, they scrap back. The bats come hot right when they need them to. They surely weren't there in Game 4 against Alvarado, the ace for the Maple Leafs. Tonight, they find a way to get a victory. The first time in franchise history, this team, this city, will head to go for a cup.
Can we highlight 3 things here? The job by James Bradwell, coming in for a Hartford who struggled. 5 1/3, scoreless. The hit, the double, the 2-run double by Ethan Hunt to give Welland the lead for the first time since the first inning. 2 massive plays, and then of course Davy Mendez locking it down like he does best a 2-inning save in the best part of the game. We shake hands at home plate. What a job by the Maple Leafs, though. Taking game 1 in extra innings here in Welland. Going down 2-1 and able to scratch out a victory at the pitch last night, and then coming here and putting up one hell of a battle. What a series, and what a job by these Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah, you have to feel bad a little bit for Harford, who comes in the first inning and has a great first inning. It's where he ran into trouble in the second inning, and that's where you knew you had Bradwell in the wings. You know, you'd be lying if you said, who do you choose between Bradwell and Harford? Bradwell a day less rest, but boy, he's been so good for the Welland Jackfish. And you have Jake Harford, a veteran, who's been a guy that can throw strike after strike here at home on Thursday nights. They go to the veteran, they have Bradwell in the wings, but the real call is changing up the order. You move Hunt somehow to the bottom, he gets it done. And Brian Ezery and the lineup gets it done. Mendez finishes it off. I don't think anybody thought that was going to be an issue. It's where you find a way to win. And that's what the Welland Jackfish do here at home. And now they get set to face the Barrie Bay Cats, which they just announced. Game 1 is Saturday at 6:05.
Game 1 Saturday at 6:05. Get your tickets now before they're gone, and get them quick. We'll see you Saturday night here at the Pond for Game 1 of the IBL Finals. But from all of us here, my partner Spencer Tangway, myself Alec Murray, we say good night.
And we're waiting to hear who tonight's player of the game is.